They had to come out through the quarterfinal playoffs. They won the last 3 games they won. They beat Egypt that we beat earlier, beat Mali in the semi-final. So coming to this game, Nigeria had the odds on to reach the coach of the team, Mustafa Gay, was the coach of the team when they won in 2009 and 2015. Let's not forget they are record holders of this tournament. 11 times they've won it, and Nigeria are seeking to win it for the 4th times on the bounce. The last team that did that in Africa happened to be the Senegalese team. Up against a new team constructed just a month before the tournament started. And when Awakama, if she goes on to win it, will become the first female in the history of the Afro Women's Basket Tournament to ever win it. No women and women have ever done it before. And let's not forget the fact also that only 4 members of this team were part of the tournament in 2021. We, like the team, new coach Christian, who plays what's the name?
Emmanuel, looks like the network is ensuring we can get some clarity with your thoughts. Can you hear me clearly?
Very well.
All right. I think I'm going to call you back, and we're going to continue from where you stopped. Probably we can get something much more clear. Okay. All right. So we're going to get back to Emmanuel just immediately and see if we can get a very much clearer line as we look up to the AfroBasket women's final between Nigeria's D Tigers and Senegal. Nigeria open to win this one for the 4th consecutive time. All right, let's see if we've got Emmanuel back at quick time. Remember, we're also talking some Anthony Davis with Emmanuel. Chibuzo is back with us. Emmanuel, can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear, Wally.
All right, better. All right, so you can go on with the AfroBasket final preview.
Like I was saying, that if she goes on to win this tournament, she will become the first female to ever win this tournament. No woman has ever done it before. Why for the coach of Senegal, Mustafa Gay, he's won it twice, 2009, 2015. If they win this tournament, talking about Senegal, it will be their 12th tournament. Nigeria has only won it 5 times on the bounce. So 5 times actually, not on the bounce. They won the last 3. But a lot coming into this game. In the semi-final game against the host nation of Rwanda, Nigeria's bench scored 33 points. The players of the bench scored 33 points. So the 6 points scored by the Rwanda team. So the team has been getting a lot of support off the bench. The captain of the team, Sarah Ogoki, does not really start games often. I was talking with her yesterday. She said she's playing more of a veteran role. This is her 6th tournament with this team. While let's not forget, Nigeria is playing this tournament to one because one of the girls, the sister to Nneka Ogumeka, who plays in the WNBA, Erica, pulled out just a day before the tournament because they have a test she had to attend to in the United States. She had to go back. So only 4 members of this team were part of the last set-off in 2021. So a lot has been coming here. While these girls are 23-0 in the last 6 years. The last time Nigeria lost a game was the 2015 semi-final match we lost to Cameroon. Since then, Nigeria has not lost any game at the Afro Women's Basketball Tournament. A team hurriedly assembled a new coaching setup. They've come this far up against the Senegal team. I think, like I said, the Senegalese lost their first 2 games of this Afro Basket. So in the last 5 games they played, they won their last 3 and they lost the first 2. Can Nigeria take any hope from that? Big one. But Nigeria has been outbounding their opponents in this tournament. The problem this team have been having, which I've been talking from day one, has been the turnover rate has been massive. They've been making so many turnovers. All the break points they've been having has been very good for them. But the turnovers, if they meet a team that can capitalize on that, they just might be able to get this one off. Ami Okonkwo has been a MVP caliber player so far. He's averaging 18.3 points per game in this tournament. While the Senegalese lady Sierra is averaging about 25 points, 21 points per game. For Ami Okonkwo, she's a contender for a player for the MVP of this tournament. Almost a double-double also in rebounds as well. And she's also getting steals. Nigeria has been playing some good defense. The only problem has been the fact that they've been giving the ball anyhow. Turnovers rate have been high. But let's see how the Senegalese will fare against them. If the superiority conference over Nigeria will come back to hunt them. But overall, these girls have been playing phenomenal basketball for a team that is an open camp. Just barely 3 weeks to this tournament, assembled in a hurry, and how far they've come so far.
All right, Emmanuel. I don't know if can you talk us through the Senegalese team? Are they more of an inside team, or are they a team of shooters? Especially with the way, like you said, we've been turning the ball over. I think we turned the ball over 20 times against was it Egypt or the Mozambique game? And Coach Renner herself spoke about it, that was a big problem in the team. So what can we expect to face from Senegal tonight?
The Senegalese team will come with so much energy. They will try to want to capitalize and try to dominate around the paint. And Nigeria has, like, in the last 3 games, have been out rebounding their opponents. Actually, the only people that came close to giving us problems in the rebounding aspect was the game we played in the Mozambique game. They almost matched us. The Egyptians, they almost matched us in terms of the rebound. Now for the Senegalese, they have, like I said, they have veteran players. The captain of the team has attended 7 already. These are 7 tournaments. Already attended 6. So there's so much experience in the team and there's so much continuity compared to the Nigerian team. Only 4 members of this team took part in the last tournament. A lot of the players, Senegalese, and the coach, Mustafa Gay, to find for loopholes, how to allow Nigeria to keep them with the part of their opponent in the last game for the team able to win.
All right, Emmanuel, we're losing you again. Looks like the
okay.
I think it's better now. Yeah, better now.
Okay. And something else that's been working for the Nigerian team, which I think the Senegalese will have to stop, is don't allow Nigeria to get to the basket, because if you foul them from the free throw line, Ami Okonkwo has been spotless. In the first game, she was 11 for 11. The second game, she was 6 of 6. In the last 2 games, she has been 2 of 2 from the free throw line. So she's here to meet a point from the free throw line. So don't allow Nigeria, and she knows how to rebound the basketball very well, and she also anchors the defense on herself, as well as the Kana, Polani, and the rest of them. So don't allow Nigeria to get to the free throw line. Don't foul them around that perimeter area, and be mindful from the 3-point line, because that lady, Ami Okonkwo, again, has been one of the beasts we have in the team from beyond the arc. So find a way to exploit Nigeria. If you is the coach of the Senegal, have to exploit them whenever they make the turnover. Or if not, the way these guys are going, they just try to dominate the paint, hit them on the perimeter. We had about 33 rebounds, defensive rebounds, in the last game we played, and we had 51 rebounds in all. So 33 of those were defensive rebounds. When the girls are playing very well, they come back to defend as a unit. Taylor Ogoke is the captain of the team, but she comes off the bench because she knows she doesn't have age on her side anymore. But overall, these girls are doing very well. The only problem is they should learn how to manage the ball very well and not give the ball away. And that's what the Senegalese coach, Mustafa Gay, should exploit and get the better of the Nigerians.
All right, so Emmanuel, you definitely are tilting towards the D Tigers. But I want to quickly ask you, before we leave the matter of the D Tigers' game tonight against Senegal, during the week, I mean, we on the program, we talked about how our administrators at the football level could not take any claim, could not take any glory for whatever the Falcons have achieved down under. Do you think the NBBF should be taking some credit here for whatever has happened? Either we win or, we don't win tonight. Do you think some credit should go to them? After all, they appointed Rena Wakama. After all, they insisted on tryouts. We'll probably have a third-string side in Rwanda playing this one. Do you think there should be credit, there should be plaudits for the NBBF?
Well, the reason why we are asking this question is just one thing, because the girls are in the final. If these girls have lost their first 2 games, or lost one, drew one, or they didn't get this far, we'll be raising our eyebrows about how the hurriedly assembled the team, how the former coach of the team what is Hewley talked about his still being old and nothing was contacted, how the girls were stopped from going to the World Cup. All of those doors have been raised again. And this is the downside about all of this. If these girls win this tournament, it's going to prepare the crowds of what is happening with the NBBF. Tomorrow they can wake up and tell you that after all we employed Rena Wakama 3 weeks to the tournament or 1 month and she deliver. So anybody, they can take the same step in the next 2 years and fight this one, that this one works out well for them. I just feel, because of how this whole thing has but I said, if these girls get to the semi-final, it's victory for me. Now, what I like is honestly, if these girls go out, they don't win the final today, the NBBF will still take positives, and if this team has been together for a longer period. Now, they assembled this team, open tryouts in Chicago, in Abuja, and in Lagos. Some senior members of the team felt insulted that they cannot take part in an open tryout because of what they bring to the table. They started of it. Some people went for it. So while right now, whatever happens, for a lot of people, a lot of reactions I've been getting, whether Nigeria loses the final or wins the final is a win-win. But this is what I always say. Nigeria has gotten this far, it's only going to paper the flag. The loopholes where the NBBF fell short, nobody's going to talk about it because they've come this far. If these girls have not gotten to the quarterfinals, I think it has brought back the former dust of how they currently assemble the team, allow the old players not going to the World Cup and all the whatnot. I just feel right now, but they shouldn't be able to take the positives. But this is our administrators who always hug the headlines more than the players themselves. So that's just how bad it has been. But so far, so good. Like I keep saying, they are going to hog the headlines. They will go take credit for everything that's happening because these girls have been doing so far so good and doing pretty well in this tournament.
Emmanuel, let me piggyback off that point and ask my next question, which is, should we, now that we have happened to stumble on a very good team, like you mentioned, this is like,
is it a very good team?
I mean, this is like our third string team that made it to the final. Should this be our team going forward? Should we keep faith with the likes of Mojanatu Musa and Emi Okonkwo, who have been absolute revelations at this Afro basket, or as soon as our actual team is available, do we revert to status quo?
Well, I think for the two people you mentioned, Emi Okonkwo and Mojanatu Musa, these are two people who were part of the team in the last tournament. So they have been one of the mainstays in this team. Elizabeth Balogun as well, and Sarah Ogoke, Palas Kunani. These are the girls who are being irregular. So the other people are the ones who have been new in the team. Let's not forget Aisha Mohammed, who knows how to play for the team. She's one of the coaching coach at the moment. So I think the coach, Rina Wakama, this is her first ever coaching job as a full-time coach. She's been working as a developmental coach in the USA. So I think he's someone who has a whole lot going forward. Now, Erika Ogumike, her sister played in the WNBA. They play in the USA national team at some point. She was a part of this team. She just left because of her exam. I think going forward, she has to now start building a new team, still retaining some of the old ones. Adora Elonu was talking about, saying she was not picked for this tournament, but she's still the number one fan of this team, which also opens the door for her. According to her, if she gets a call up tomorrow to come represent the country, she will come. Nobody is talking about Evelyn Akator anymore, one of the best rebounders these Tigers have had in time past. So I think going forward, I expect Rina Wakama will still have to bring in some new players, still have a blend of the old ones as well going forward, because you still need the experience. But Emi Okonkwo, the ladies who have been doing pretty well so far so good, have been a mainstay in this team. They are not rookies anymore. So some of the veterans are coming off the bench. I just feel whatever the coach feels she wants to do, if she wants to, but I just feel we are building a new team. You don't have to discard the old ones. It was not a decision for them to stay out of the team. So because of what happened with the MBBS and the sport ministry, the whole World Cup Olympic saga and the World Cup program that brought them where they are right now. Now, for the virtue of the fact that Nigeria already qualified for the final, Nigeria and Senegal have automatically qualified for the pre-Olympic qualifiers. So these are the two teams that are representing Africa there, but they have to go to the qualifying period. I just feel when Wakama may need some experience because we'll be playing teams from Europe, from the Oceania, and the rest of them. So I won't be surprised if we see the likes of Adora Elonu, the last MVP of the tournament, and the worst and in the game, to come back to this team and give their best into this team. So I just feel she's building is a continuous process. She'll have a blend of former players and new players to do her business going forward.
All right, that should do it with the AfroBasket women. We also know it's FIBA World Cup month, right?
Yes, certainly.
It's FIBA World Cup month. Probably we'll do more on the FIBA World Cup next week, but because we don't have plenty of time, let's quickly switch to the NBA and talk about Anthony Davis. I mean, there's plenty to definitely munch on as far as that topic is concerned. Los Angeles Lakers star Anthony Davis will sign a 3-year, $186 million max contract extension to remain with the Lakers through 2028. And here's what people listening right now need to know. I mean, Davis had 2 years and $84 million left on his deal before the extension. The 30-year-old averaged 25.9 points, 12.5 points, and 2 blocks per game last season while shooting 56.3% from the field. And finally, you need to also know that Davis was traded to the Lakers from the New Orleans Pelicans in 2019. The 8-time All-Star helped Lakers win the NBA title in 2020. And my question to you is, a couple of analysts out there in the NBA have been saying, hey, this extension has risk, but it's a win-win for both him and the Lakers. Do you agree?
I agree, Wale. I think for the risk people are talking about for the Lakers, it's just one thing. Anthony Davis' health. He's always injured. Davis averaged 12.5 rebounds per game last season. Which
yeah,
is the most
I wanted to mention rebounds, not points, actually. Thank you very much for that.
And because, but you're welcome. But because of his injury status, now the NBA brought a new guideline. Any player who doesn't play up to 65 games is not qualified to win any award next season.
Oh.
Whether it's Rookie of the Year, yes. So if anybody who doesn't play up to 65 games, now if you go check the statistics in the NBA, the player with the most rebounds is a man called Domantas Sabonis who plays for the Sacramento Kings. Because Davis did not play up to a certain number of games. That's the reason why he's disqualified. Now, but he averaged 12.5 games per game last season, which is a record, is a career high. 56% he shot from the field is also a career high for him. So the NBA brought up this stat just after the season ended. Anybody who does not meet 65 games is not eligible to qualify for any award, any nomination whatsoever from this season going forward. Now, for Anthony Davis, the only thing he needs to do is to stay fit. Now, Anthony Davis, whenever he's fit, he shows up and he shows out. We know he's a monster on and off the court. For some people, he's the most talented big man in the NBA. The former coach of the Lakers, Frank Vogel, says he's the most talented defensive player in the NBA because we know what he can do defensively. Now, he's in good company. He joins the likes of Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the players who have averaged 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. Even in postseason, he has averaged about 50 blocks, Wally already, and also in the company of Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But what this contract also gives to him, Wally, that nobody is talking about, is that Anthony Davis now becomes the player with the most annual salary in the history of the NBA. Davis is set to make $62 million next season, which is the biggest in a single season by anybody. Now, Wally, guess what? Damian Lillard has 4 years left on his contract. The final year of that contract is supposed to earn $60 million. Now, Davis is to earn $62 million on his contract next coming season, which now surpasses the $51 million Steph Curry was supposed to earn next season. And Kevin Durant, $47 million, LeBron James, $47 million. So Davis was supposed to earn originally $40 million, but the new extension now makes him about $62 million is going to be added for the next 5 years of his contract. And also, for why is a win-win? If tomorrow the Lakers feel they cannot get enough because of his injuries, they can try to trade him. Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. He has done a lot defensively, offensively. He's a good player. The only problem Davis has, why people are scared about his contract, is the fact that he's always injured. Rob Pelinka promised he was going to run this team over again. We've seen him do that, added some new pieces, Gabe Vincent, Torian Prince. He has brought in some good pieces, Jackson Hay and the rest. According to what you are hearing, they want Davis to play the number 4, not the center anymore, as the power forward. Davis prefers to play as the power forward. He doesn't get banged up with other centers. And that was what he was playing for the Lakers when they won the championship in 2020, when they had Dwight Howard and Javale McGee. It seems they want to go back to that system, except in some games they will take him to play as a center. So I think Davis only needs to stay fit. If Davis stays healthy and stays fit, the Lakers are going to be contending, and it should be a contender for Defensive Player of the Year, season in, season out.
I mean, Emmanuel, take a look at what free agency might look like in 2028, right? Was it 28 or 2025? Free agency is looking really sweet. I mean, you're going to have the free agents class of 2025. That's in 2 years from now. You're going to, yes, you're going to have Giannis. You're going to have Jason Tatum. You're going to have Donovan Mitchell. Davis will be 32 by then, I believe. Heading back, on the back nine of his prime. I mean, the Lakers seem to have also gotten the new face of the Lakers because we know LeBron definitely is on his last legs right now. But what do you make of that star-studded free agent class we're going to have in 2 years?
Well, it's a star-studded class, like you mentioned earlier. People already... It
will also involve him as well, too, right?
Yes. It will involve him as well. People are already talking about that man called LeBron James. Let's not forget the fact that his son was supposed to be eligible for the NBA in 2025. Now, because of the cardiac arrest he suffered just over a week ago, there's a question mark around his future if he's going to play in the NBA. One of the driving force for LeBron James over the years has been the fact that he wants to play one season with his team. So, in other words, any team that drafts his son automatically gets him for free. In other words, it's a no-brainer that LeBron will go to any team that drafts his son. But Bronny suffered a cardiac arrest, and from what you are hearing, it's not too good a story. He's out, he's back eating with the family, going out. But there's a fear that the way it is going, the family already having question mark if they should allow him to play. LeBron was supposed to be a free agent in that summer transfer window because he was given a 2-year extension by the Lakers. For Jason Tatum, people have been saying that the Lakers are already grooming whoever is going to come in next to partner with Anthony Davis to hand over the franchise. If Miami contends with them, he won the championship with them.
All right, look like we have lost... thoughts we've lost our connection with Emmanuel, but that was some 18 minutes of quality conversation. But probably wrap it up for us on him potentially, most likely, going to be the face of the Lakers once LeBron is out of the picture. Do you think the Lakers are in safe hands?
Yeah, even with LeBron in the picture, it was supposed to. That was the whole point of sacrificing the entire.
Yeah, but it was number two. Now, it's going to be groomed to be a number one guy.
I mean, that was the whole point of sacrificing the entire young core, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and all of those guys to New Orleans to get the guy that was supposed to take over from LeBron. Partner with LeBron for as long as you can, and then be the face of the team. But that process has not quite been as smooth. The transition has not happened yet because, like Emmanuel said, Anthony Davis is often quite always injured. But hopefully he can stay fit. When he's fit, he's definitely one of the best bigs in the league. And Emmanuel mentioned that it's 62 million per year is the most anybody will make in a year this season. But I want to remind you why Saudi Arabia is the best, because out of that 64 million, out of that 62 million, it will only be getting 24 million. It's paying 22.9 million in federal tax. It's paying $6 million in NBA escrow, paying $4.1 million in California tax. It's paying $1.8 million in agent fees, $1.8 million in jog tax, $1.4 million in FICA and Medicare, leaving him with $24 million.
Have you factored in his commerciality as well? All right, some dead end there. All right, we'll go on a break. We'll come back now with the NBA, because from the commercial standpoint, Anthony Davis definitely is it's a great face for the commercial brands as well. So definitely. I'm sure there's plenty of millions of dollars coming from that end. All right, we'll take that break. We'll come back. We're done with some basketball. We'll come back with the FIFA Men's World Cup, and Odwan Ruth is going to be taking center stage as we take a look at the opening round of 16 fixtures, and Nigeria up against England on Monday morning. Our thoughts on Saturday Sports Cruise. Remember, I've got a full house. I've got Olumide, I've got Tunde Young, I've got Michael, Wisdom, and Odwai. I think I'm another person. She's joining.
Jibola.
Oh, Jibola is on the show. Jibola is a familiar face, right? Yeah. All right, let's take that break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And it's almost kickoff time in England. Championship, League One, League Two, and also you've got all the leagues. I think the Belgian Pro League has also got Genk against Eupen kicking off very soon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you.
I don't know what you wanna hear from me. Thinking about the way you say for me. But you been on my mind constantly. Where your conscience, baby, man, don't go by me, mommy. I thought take you overseas. Me and you for be like 5 and 6. You knocking me down with your cream and tease. Why would I feel intoxicated? Shawty just speak for the picture. I feel like love is overrated, oh. Cause tell me why you got me so wasted, so faded, oh. I feel intoxicated. Shawty just speak for the picture. I feel like love is overrated, oh. Cause tell me why you got me so wasted, so faded, oh.
We're like Romeo and Juliet. If the family's got along, Chinedu, tell me what we gon' do, huh? Life comes at you fast. See you on holiday, only snap one glass, one view. Thought your friends would come too. Tell me why I'm seeing your girls in London. Got me in a pickle, a little conundrum. I don't wanna make assumptions, I called you. Why you gonna text me? It's better you kill me, better you arrest me. Bad man stress, woman, nothing stress me. You could've taught me, see the way you test me. See the way social media's so cold. Love's easy to find, harder to hold. Most stories end and start with a phone. All the way to Melade, she was half of my own. Oxley, you know my girl, Denise, the year younger than man from East. She got the tribal mark and she used to be friends with peace. Won't let me know peace. She want chop my gari and peas. It's what I'm looking if I'm headed to the streets. That's why I'm intoxicated, like what these girls want from her.
I don't know what you wanna hear from me. Thinking about the way you say for me. But you been on my mind constantly. Where your conscience, baby, my don't go by me, mommy. I thought take you overseas. Me and you for be like 5 and 6. You knocking me down with your cream and tease. Why would I Shawty just me for the picture. I feel like love is overrated, oh. Cause tell me why you got me so wasted, so faded, oh. I really intoxicated. Shawty just me for the picture. I feel like love is overrated, oh. Cause tell me why you got me so wasted, so faded. Original, Blanta, superstar, no master, don't know. Bitty bitty, don't know. Lucky baby, Santander, Santander. Baby, baby, oh baby, baby, my sugar lovey, nobody do me like you. Baby, baby, my fine lady, the way you walk out, nobody walk out like you. And I'll cross all the 7 seas just to give you what you need, oh baby me, oh. So let them hate on me. If they like me, then call police. Baby, baby, my strawberry, see your body, nobody gotta like you. Girlie, oh, my girlie, oh, you too bad, oh, nobody better than you. And I'll cross all the 7 seas just to give you what you need, oh baby me, oh. So let them hate on me. If they like me, then call police. I know that you love me, forget the anchor. I'll go to prison for the one that I lost. And if you need me, I'll give my life up for you. I know you've been searching for where to find love, and now you found me. Now I'm willing to die for you. If you need me, I'll give my life up for you. Baby, baby, oh baby, baby, sugar love you, nobody, nobody. Whoa, baby, baby, my fine baby, the way you walk out, nobody walk out like you. No, and now the cross of the 7 seas, just to give you what you need, oh baby, man. So let them hate on me. The night when you call me.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Welcome back. Saturday Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. We do this every Saturdays 2 p.m. through 5 p.m. And the action is about to kick off in the English Championship. Let me run you through the fixtures. We'll keep our eyes on all of the goals. Anything you need to know concerning these games, we've got you covered on Saturday Sports Cruise. Blackburn Rovers take on West Bromwich Albion. Bristol City against Preston North End. Middlesbrough against Millwall. Norwich against All City. Plymouth Argyle against Huddersfield Town. Stoke City taking Rotherham United. Swansea against Birmingham City. We've got Tom Brady as a minority co-owner. And Watford will take on Queen's Park Rangers in another 3 p.m. fixture that should have kicked off right now. In League One, it's Barnsley against Sportsville, Blackpool taking Bolton Albion, Bolton Wanderers against Lincoln City, Cambridge United against Oxford United, Carlisle United against Fleetwood Town, Charlton Athletic versus Leyton Orient, Wigan at Derby, Northampton on to Stevenage, Portsmouth taking Bristol Rovers, Reading against Peterborough United, Shrewsbury Town against Cheltenham Town, and Wycombe Wanderers will take an Exeter City. In League Two, it's Accrington Stanley against Newport County, Colchester United against Swindon Town, Crawley Town taking Bradford City, Mansfield Town at Crewe Alexandra. Yeah, anybody remembers Crewe Alexandra for something yet? Oh, they're not OGs, yeah. Oh, yeah, you should do, right? Okay, Jibola is here. Jibola, good evening, good afternoon, welcome to the show. Yeah,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, you just joined us. Crewe Alexandra, what memory does it bring?
I think we have a player there. He's a Nigerian. I've forgotten his name now.
Yeah, because we have a player that's definitely a Nigerian.
Yeah. I've forgotten his name.
Efe Soldier. Yeah, way back. Efe Soldier. Tunde Young didn't come through on this one. I got you.
Is Efe Soldier not the one with match fixing allegations?
I don't know. But if a soldier was, I think he had issues with that. But it was the bandana tying, player who played at the World Cup in 2002 with the Super Eagles. All right, Doncaster Rovers will take on Harrogate, Forest Green Rovers against Salford City, Wimbledon at Grimsby Town, Morecambe against Walsall, Stockport County against Gillingham, Sutton United against Notts County, Tranmere Rovers taking Barrow, and Wrexham. Yeah, the club owned by Rand Reynolds and Rob McElhenney will take on MK Dons. That used to be the club paying the bills of Dele Alli, who these days is at Everton. All right, let's get to the FIFA Women's World Cup. And Odunayo Japan beat Norway 3-1, but the first round of 16 game was Spain against Switzerland 4-1. It ended 5-1. It ended. Spain needed to make a statement after they got thrashed against Japan in the group stages, and what a statement they made.
Of course, and I was very much disappointed in what Switzerland put out there after going unbeaten running in the group stages, coming out with 7 points, and they're not conceding a goal. I think they are one of the 3 teams that were yet to concede. They didn't concede all through the group
No, they
stages.
conceded in the first game. They didn't concede in their last 2 games.
No,
Switzerland.
No,
Yeah.
Switzerland, no.
they
They won
concede
2-0
at all.
against Philippines, then goalless.
Oh, yeah, goalless in those. Yeah,
Yes,
true.
goalless against Norway and I think New Zealand in the last game. So they didn't concede any goal. I was quite surprised that they could go ahead and concede 5. And Spain, coming from the back of losing their last game in the group stages, I think they needed to make a statement. Of course, they also needed to qualify for their first quarterfinals ever. I think the last time they were at the World Cup, they crashed out in the round of 16. Same with Switzerland as well. But then Spain has been able to prove to us they look like one of the very best team in this tournament so far. They look like a tactical side, one of the very best team I've seen in this tournament so far. And they've made that statement that they are here to prove a point. They are now in the quarterfinals already.
Yeah, very interesting. I like the look of what happened at full time between Switzerland and Spain. Did anybody notice? Chernogosevic, the Barcelona player, was being interviewed, and suddenly she saw the son of Irina Paredes, who plays for Barcelona, their teammates, and just left the interview and just went to the child, and it was a very, very good touch. Knowing fully that they got knocked out of the tournament, but there's still some very humane touch in there. That was really good to see. But still talking about the Spanish team, Michael, you get a feeling that it's still more of individual performances. They lack cohesiveness. They took the lead in 5 minutes, Bonmati, but just almost immediately Switzerland equalized with an own goal, which was due to lack of cohesion from the Spanish backline. Although first half ended 4-1, they had 18 shots. Switzerland had 0. I understand that. But as they mature into the tournament, they need to start being a unit. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have quality individual performances, but Spain still look like they are limping. Spain haven't fully convinced yet.
Yeah, looking at the rating as the favorites to win the tournament, according to Opta, the Spanish national team are the second favorites behind the English female national team. So
after the group stages.
Yeah, I think it was after the group stages.
Yes.
After the group stages.
So I think they can still do more. I mean, there are qualities in that squad. They've got qualities in that squad. I mean, the lady that even scored the own goal, she could redeem herself during the course of the game. She got herself a goal. So I think the team are still growing into the competition, and I think they are getting better.
And for Japan, Wisdom, Miyazawa still leading them, scored a goal, made 1, top scorer in the tournament. We know that we've been talking about how quality they've been doing the work, but everybody has noticed them that, hey, Japan are here to contend and try to win their first title since 2011.
Yeah, I think they are one of the things that actually surprised me in this tournament because they came in. I didn't really give them a chance, but so far they have done well.
They've been perfect in the group stages, won all of their games, and now they've added another interesting win to it against Norway, who had Ada Hegerbeck playing just 20. I think there were question marks about her fitness. But next up for Japan, Tunde Young is a huge clash against either Sweden or the United States, and that will be a massive test of Japan's ability to win this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's very curious that only 4 teams have ever won the World Cup, and we have 3 of them on one side of the draw. Which is ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's just the other side of the draw. That's the Nigeria side. If we can get past England, we might just be going all the way to the semi-finals. But speaking of Japan, I think it's either one of Sweden or United States that should be wary of facing Japan. It's even telling that Japan is already waiting in the quarterfinals for anybody that wins. So whoever wins that game should not celebrate too much because this Japanese team are just very good. They are very organized. They play like you spoke about Spain, and we talk about being powered by individual performances. Tana Bomati, carrying the team on our shoulders. But you see this Japanese team, and I came into the tournament expecting people like Jun Endo, expecting people like Yueki to lead the team. But Miyazawa has pretty much, I mean, I will speak for myself, blindsided me with 5 goals and like 3 assists now. 3 assists at this tournament. So leading the goal scorers chart and very high up the assist chart as well, if she's not even leading that one as well. So like they have quality and they have a tactical understanding of what the coach wants to achieve. Whenever they take their corner kicks, they understand their limitations. They hardly play their corner kicks directly. They understand that they are not going to beat anybody aerially, so they have. You can tell that they worked on corner kick sets. You can tell that their routines are very well perfected in training. You see when they arrange the way they arrange the ball, everything just looks. They look like they are following a plan, and a team like that is dangerous. And when you now talk about even when the plan does not work, you still have the individual quality of players to bail you out. So I think this Japanese team are very, very dangerous, and I'd just like to say I told all of you so.
All right, looks like we have some problem here with our live scores updates because Genk are down by a goal after 9 minutes. The trail to European, but that Jupiler Pro League game has just started, and Slovako are trailing Sigma Olomouc by 2 goals in the Czech Republic Fortuna Liga. That's one of the upsets on right now. Copenhagen against Randers has kicked off in the Danish Superliga. Now let me get back to Odwaya. Still talking the FIFA Men's World Cup. Natalie Portman. Does anybody know who Natalie Portman is here? The Hollywood actor. So Natalie Portman co-owns Angel City. That's a side in the NWSL in the United States. And she was at a summit at the World Cup in Sydney, and she was talking about how this World Cup has brought a culture change. And although I don't know if you agree with that, she said, hey, my sons now watch the women's game with the same level of excitement that they watch the men's game. Do you agree with that? That's something has changed culturally with the way everybody views the women's game?
Yeah, it looks like it. There's a massive improvement from the last World Cup in terms of play, in terms of viewership as well. I think people have to buy into the women's game. Of course, I've always had this opinion that if there's an improvement on the pitch of play, people will always watch. That's just, and I think that's been the major reason why the viewership this time around has changed. You look at the Spanish team, you look at the USA national team. They've not really been what we expect them to do. But you look at the teams that we even going into the World Cup. You look at the teams that we expect not to be up there. The African teams. No one expected 3 African teams to make it to the next round, but they did. And you look at the stories of the underdogs as well. The likes of Nigeria moving on. They're going unbeaten as well in the group stages. So these are some of the stories that could always attract people to look at whatever is going on in the World Cup. And I think in terms of play, so many things have changed, and there's been massive improvement.
All right, something also has changed in Denmark. Copenhagen have taken the lead against Randers. It's an early 1-0, and you can probably start taking your accumulators. I mean, you can gradually, you can gradually. Yeah. But we'll bring you all the updates. It looks like we also have a goal in the English Championship. Plymouth.
Watford leading 1-0 against QPR.
Right.
Stoke leading 1-0 against Rotherham, and like you mentioned, Plymouth 1-0 against Huddersfield Town. So 3 home teams leading. The rest are goalless.
All right, some Nigerian interest in the Watford game. Tom Dele Bashiru has given Watford the lead in that game against Rangers. at Vicarage Road. All right, still Saturday Sports Cruise. We're talking about the FIFA Women's World Cup. We're done with the 2 round of 16 games for today. Let's move on to the games for tomorrow. And what are the games on the table for us? Looks like Africa is rising tomorrow, right?
I think South Africa, Netherlands is tomorrow.
Yeah, South Africa, Netherlands coming up tomorrow. And what's the other round of 16 fixture?
South Africa, Netherlands, and Sweden, USA. South Africa, Netherlands is by 3 a.m. even. So,
let's get started with the Sweden, USA game. Back then, Sweden used to be a powerhouse in the women's game. And looks like everyone has caught up with them. But the United States have remained the powerhouse. But basically, this is a fixture of 2 teams who need them some redemption. We need some confirmation of what they stand for in the women's game. Superpowers.
Definitely. We spoke about at least one of the teams that had the perfect group stage will falter in this round, and I think it's going to be Sweden. I think it is.
I think Sweden are going to beat the United States. Actually,
one of them is already down. Switzerland.
I mean,
we're talking of
the teams that won.
But we never really rated them, games.
The teams that won all 3 games, that's speaking of Sweden, speaking of Japan, and remind me who the third team, England. I expect at the very least one of them will drop. And I think it's going to be Sweden. I think the United States will turn up when they need to, which is the knockout rounds, the do or die situation. And the Swedes have really benefited from their aerial prowess. They have a particular corner kick routine where they take the corner kick very close to the goalkeeper, and it works a treat almost every time. And they just overload the far post and confuse the goalkeeper, and at least one person will be able to get on the end of the ball to turn it. I think United States are too smart to fall for that. And the fact that Sweden have not also, beyond set pieces, they've not really I've not, in all of their games I've not seen them have any other way of breaking teams down. They rely heavily on set pieces. I think United States have an equal amount of size to match them for that set piece, and I think that takes away the advantage. And of course, in terms of pedigree, it's the United States. I think they will beat Sweden.
All right, big blow for Vlatko Andonovic's team. Olumide Rose-Lavelle is out. Accumulation of cards, and we know that the US have never failed to reach the semi-final of a Women's World Cup, but given the poor form in the team right now, another shock results at the tournament. Germany are out, Brazil are gone, both failing to advance from their groups. Anything feels possible. So I'm not sure a lot of people will be surprised if Sweden knock out the United States tomorrow.
Yes, of course. I will not also be surprised because prior before this tournament, the USA has been one of the favorites, for this competition. Don't let us forget that they are the defending champion as regards this FIFA Women World Cup, and they are coming into this game as probably you want to tag them basically as a favorite based on pedigree and antecedents, but based on current from what we have on paper right now, or what we have on ground, based on their performances, I think they haven't lived up to expectation, and that is a cause of for worry. I think Sweden should fancy their chances against this United States of America, because they have not been the same United States of America we used to know. You could see how they struggled all through the group stage down to this round of 16. If it's the right time to place your bets that Sweden will beat USA, I think this is the right time. Don't let us forget that Sweden are also a powerhouse, when it comes to the Women World Cup. Women championship basically. So all things being equal, I see a Sweden win against the United States.
Imagine a World Cup having its final in the round of 16. That's what this fixture looks like. This is like a classic final, Sweden USA.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we're going to have it at this stage.
If you want to take Olumide's advice, it will cost you 3.38 odds. Sweden.
You just have to sneak in.
Since you are looking for where to put 1 million, I'm advising you that put it on United States.
Did you have to tell the whole world?
I did not mention the guilty conscience.
Anyway, and I think the head-to-head favors the United States. So you might want to be careful in your your 1 million with your 1 million naira.
With your 1 million naira, right? All right, let's talk about the other round of 16 fixture that actually comes first before this, and that's the fixture between South Africa, the Banyana, and the Netherlands. And Jibola, this fixture emphasizes the shock value of the World Cup. So far, so good.
Yeah, exactly. I was even surprised to really see South Africa making it to the next round. Yeah. because their first game they didn't play very well, but then again they come into the game gradually.
Game management.
And again you give it to the coach, and I mean the talisman. Or how would I even the tally lady rather? I mean, Gatlana, he's been there, taking everything.
Isn't that what Assistant Oshoala should be doing for Nigeria?
Can we resist to make every Gatlana conversation about Assistant?
Let's just leave Ashala.
Everybody does this.
I think it's unfair that anytime we have a Gatlana conversation at this World Cup, we find a way to squeeze in Assistant Oshoala. Who has equally contributed?
In one game.
In one game, please. It has to come in. Because Gatlana look like the biggest star in that team, and Assistant Oshoala looks like our biggest star as well.
But also we have to emphasize the collectivity of teams in tournaments rather than the individuality.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's a team game. Aside if she's not contributing on the pitch, I know that likes of Rashida Ajibade talk about how much she influences them even off the pitch. That has to count. So I think it's very, very unfair. And trust me, Asa will come correct on Monday. I promise.
This is the best.
She will come correct on Monday.
If there's anything
hopefully, but
if there's any time she needs to prove us wrong, this has to be
this is the time for her.
She doesn't have to prove anybody wrong anymore.
Oh, really?
She has nothing. In fact,
when it comes to the Super Falcons, I'm sorry, she has to.
No, she has nothing to prove. Honestly, I think that she's one of the best players that has come out from this country. She's one of the greatest players on the continent.
Enough for the Super Falcons.
Now, the question is, how many players in this world, both men and women, offer you the best of both worlds? I think that greatness should not be seen from one prism. Greatness can be seen as someone who has won the African Footballer of the Year 4 times. Who else has done that? Greatness can be seen as someone who won the Women's Champions League, I think once or twice. Greatness can be seen in different forms. It doesn't have to be about did she do it for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, please.
Greatness is also a Manchester City fan, but moving on. Don't leave me.
All right, we're talking about the South Africa versus Netherlands game, and the question here is: will the Sharks continue with Bayana eliminating the highly rated Dutch? Netherlands emerged really strongly from their group, so they are favourites here. But let's be very much honest, Michael. Looks like it's the end of the road for Desiree Ellis' team.
Mm-hmm. Wow, for Netherlands, I mean, so far in this competition, they've been unbeaten, and I think that's a very, very strong point to hold on to coming into that game.
Well, Switzerland were unbeaten before they met their Waterloo today, so the South Africans can bank on that.
They are playing against the South African side that had a draw and a win.
Well, which of the Africans, Wisdom, do you think has got a better chance, a slim chance? I think that every African team is betting against the house. Every African team is against the odds. It's about upsetting the odds. But which African team? Morocco play France, South Africa, Netherlands tomorrow, Nigeria, England on Monday. Which of the African teams do you think at least can squeeze and find a way to get themselves in the last 8?
I think the South Africans get the chance. Because when you hear France, England, those names alone.
I mean, Netherlands as well.
Yeah, but I actually think the South Africans have the chance to get through.
The numbers. Let's go with the numbers. The odds says Nigeria. Nigeria are value.
These numbers will not cover you because those numbers put you in trouble when your video came out.
At least they are trackable. The odds say it's Nigeria 11.50 odds. That's the best African.
Trust me, I can confirm to you that one bookie has just upgraded it to 20 odds on Nigeria to win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can put some smart money on that too.
Well, I mean, I will not be doing any such thing, but if they win, of course, we'll celebrate. Morocco at 16.50 odds against France, and South Africa at 15 odds against Netherlands early tomorrow morning. I think the South Africans should just accept in good faith. You have tried.
All right, so let's take a look at the round of 16 fixtures coming up on Monday morning. We have Nigeria, England, and we have, I think, Colombia in action, right? Yeah, we have Colombia in action as well. Let's just quickly get confirmation on that real quick. Australia versus Denmark, and like we talked about it briefly yesterday, Tunde Young, the dilemma for the co-host is what happens to Sam Kerr, who looks like she will definitely, World Cup is about to start. Do you get her into the thick of the action, or you keep a winning team that were very much impressive against Canada, and you find a way to gradually ease her into the action?
I think you return at this is the knockout round. There are no chances to be taken. You don't keep your best player on the bench if she's fit. I understand the game. I understand the Canada game. She was just returning and stuff. It's not like our deputy had done anything spectacular before that game. Eliraso and Samke have a very good relationship, and I expect that to translate to the pitch as well. There's a reason Samke is the country's all-time top scorer and currently one of the best players in the world. And with Rasso's fantastic performance in the last game, I think you can form a partnership between both of them. I think it's work a treat for the Australians. I expect them to off the momentum of that game against Canada and the fact that they are the host nation, and also they very simply have a better team than Denmark. I expect them to win.
All right, so those are the fixtures over the weekend. But Nigeria, England, our eyes on that one. We've been talking about it last couple of days. Oduayo, you are hopeful that the Super Falcons can do the unthinkable, but we know that it's going to be a very, very tough ask for the Super Falcons.
I found it. Sorry, I was looking for, while we were discussing Azizat to show, I was looking for the odds on Azizat to score, and if anybody wants to have a gander, 6.60 odds.
Colombia take on Jamaica on Tuesday, and France will take on Morocco. Colombia they were walking a tight yellow card rope. About 5 players in the team walked that rope in their final group game, but 4 came out unscathed. But Vanegas, a very, very crucial member of the team, got that second yellow card and should be missing out in the round of 16. But the good thing is, all of your sins are forgiven. All the yellow cards are wiped off once you get to the round of 16, so we start again. So the Colombians were a very physical side, but play some decent football too. We'll have about 4 yellow cards wiped off. France against Morocco also should be a good game. Javi Renard is the manager for France and is up against a renowned manager in the women's game. Renard Pedros was won 2 Champions League titles for Olympique Lyon. All right, looks like we have to take another break. Let's get some rest for the next couple of minutes. Take a music break, and we'll be back with more for you. We'll take some calls if you want to join in. 091366000 410. If you want to text, it's 091366000 430. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, so follow us on those platforms and drop your comments. We'll be reading them as well. If you got any questions, we will try our best to answer your questions satisfactorily. If it concerns the transfer market, any player you think a club should get or about to get, we can do our best to imitate Fabrizio Romano for you this afternoon on Mainland 98.3. But before we go on that break, let's bring you some goal updates real quick. We add them to the English Championship. Blackburn have scored the second. Just getting confirmation on our screen here. They lead West Bromwich Albion by 2-0 at Ewood Park, and also I think we have a goal in the Watford game. It's 2-0 now against Queen's Park Rangers. That goal has come from Wu. It's come from Loser. Yes, not the loser. Imran Loser has given them the second goal after Tom Daley Bashiru scored in the first minute of action. Exeter 2-0 the lead at Wycombe. Looks like Bristol Rovers are about to take the lead at Portsmouth as well. Cambridge United lead against Oxford United. Bolton lead Lincoln by 1-0. Wrexham are trailing by 2 goals at home to MK Dons. So much for coming all the way from the National League. Notts County are also trailing to Sutton 1-0, and they also have a man sent off in that game. Mansfield about to take the lead at Crewe Alexandra. Away from England, French League 2 action sees Sanitene against Grenoble. It's goalless after 65 minutes, so you can keep your eyes on that fixture as well. All right, let's do the break. When we come back, we've got plenty of football still coming your way on the show, but I'd like to hear from you too. Your thoughts on the FIFA Women's World Cup, your thoughts on the Community Shield coming up tomorrow. We'll be previewing that too in due time on Saturday Sports Cruise right here on the Sound of Lagos, Mainland 98.3 FM. All right, let's enjoy some smarter, and he calls this one In Charge. Don't go anywhere.
I still a fresh like I am Wheezy. I'm still freestyling like I done dizzy. I'm still dancing like Daddy Shoki. Cause I got that life, you know, easy. Some still depressed, looking for CC. I feel no pity, I bet I'm busy. I'm saying, Daddy, I be their daddy. I'm getting funds, I'm getting money. Your favorite thing. buy me.
No fit to buy me.
Bella today. I'm back again. I don't care what you say, me look like you. Otilo, ọmọ you don't go. Alatiwole, ọmọ you don't show. I don't care what you say, me look like you. Otilo, ọmọ you don't go. Alatiwole, ọmọ you don't show. I'm seeing daddy, I be their daddy. They feel just cry while they watch me. I see come find one, it move funny. Although I don't show me, some people hate me, some people love me for no reason. My people just see them get it started, then no get ending. Then no fee ending. Cause I got that life, you know, easy. Some see they pressy looking for CC. I feel no picky, I beg I'm busy. I never talk to them, done they feel me. Some people they waste it, won't be me. How I don't got see them, no fee see me. Well, I see I'm back again. I don't care what you say, me look like you. Otilo, ọmọ you don't go. Alatiwole, ọmọ you don't show. I don't care what you say, me look like you. Otilo, ọmọ you don't go. Alatiwole, ọmọ you don't show. I just wanna make love and money. While I suffer life is not for me. See me, I come from nothing. See me, I come from trenches. Nothing there. My ass are for 14 years. And nobody feel my pain. I will never be the same. I was a different case. When they look my side and they say, nobody pass the almighty. Nobody fits follow me fighting. My face show, my shoe shine, my shoe shine, my shoe shine. Hallelujah, I'm getting moolah. Inside kula, eating suya. Hallelujah, living la vida loca. Oh, yeah, I've been on the road all day, I'm chasing moolah. Fire in my mouth like a Zula, turner. Magic be into suya. Yeah, I've been hard for like 4 years, and I wonder if I'm done yet. People be like, rise for my concert. Welcome, welcome the new convert. In a week where they convert. Would you say you want raise me? Tell them we go to a more failing. Yeah, CK but that AMD, so it's 3 bad boys with V8 engines. You know go best in me. You want to lose, bet against me. Be flexing it. To the end of me. Hallelujah, I'm getting cooler. Inside cooler, eating suya. Hallelujah, living la vida loca. Oh,
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
You are listening to Sports
Welcome back. It's still Saturday Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3. We're heading to Ikenne, Ogun State to get some updates from the latest pre-season tournament going on. Remember, the Nigeria Premier League will be kicking off August 26th, and we've had a couple of pre-season fixtures to get teams in the mood, get them with games under their belt, and Value Jet pre-season is the latest being played in Ogun State, and one of the organizers playing a lead role at the tournament. I'm talking about Adepoju Toby Samuel joins us on the program this afternoon. Toby, good afternoon. How is Ikene this afternoon?
Yeah, good afternoon, Olawale Adigun. Good afternoon to everyone. Ikene is nice. Beautiful atmosphere here. 3 games yesterday. One game done this morning, and we have a game currently on between Aberos and Shoten, which is 1-1 right now for 67 minutes of play. Ikene is nice, and beautiful facility. The teams have really experienced since we began the tournament yesterday.
Toby, talk us through the participants at this pre-season tourney. We understand Sunshine Stars withdrew at the last minute, and we also understand that Beyond Limits, that's a feeder side or a feeders team to Remo Stars, are involved in this tourney as well. Talk us through the 8 teams participating.
Yeah, our plan was to have 4 continental teams to play alongside top 4 MPFL clubs to make it 8 clubs. But it was really difficult for some clubs. A lot of excuses to travel down to the southern part to come and play, or to the southwest, so to speak. And then we had 2 teams who were playing on the continent. Remo Stars who are playing in the CAF Champions League this season, and also Rivers United who were playing in the CAF Confederation Cup. We have Crown United. We have Atlan, who are currently the NNA champions. We have Abia Warriors. We have the most successful club in this tournament, Shooting Stars, in terms of trophies won. We have Beyond Limits, who joined after Sunshine Stars pull out from the tournament late minutes before the start of the tournament. And honestly, Beyond Limits gave us a lot of positive conversation yesterday with the performance against Shooting Stars. And then we had Sporting Lagos. These Sporting Lagos being the current guy, topping the chart almost everywhere now, also in the tournament.
Now, Toby, I've got a very interesting question to ask you. We know the Remo Star Stadium is an exquisite sporting edifice that you can also call a football place of excellence, basically. You've got multiple pitches, about 4, if I'm correct. You've got hostels for the academy players. You've got some fantastic structure that helps in the development of footballers at a very, very young age. We know that the proprietor of the club has invested a lot into the club and into the development of the game at that level. What has been the body language of the teams who have come to Ikene? Do they look surprised? Do they look out of place? Like, hey, we might not have just seen anything like this in the country, because trust me, I'm not sure there's any facility like that in Nigeria right now. What has been their body language like?
Absolutely, you're right, Adigun. Anytime the clubs, stepping into the Remo Stars, stadium and the arena, they're always really overwhelmed. Some of them have heard about this facility, and because last season was a Bridge League, some clubs
they couldn't come, yeah.
They were not here. They didn't really understand, the kind of investment that has been done here. And a lot of them are really, they're surprised. Yes, they've heard about it, but, seeing it and also feeling it and also experience the facility, using the facility to play. Imagine, like you mentioned, about 4 pitches, we can play 4 games here. So you can play as much as 4 games simultaneously. You have a training pitch. You can also train on your off days. You have the gym. You have every facility for you to prepare for your season. This is a proper place for your preseason. And I wish we can put the governors here. We can put them down here in the final so that they can see this facility. And help the clubs. Rivers United, household club in the MPFL. Abia Warriors have spent almost 10 years in the MPFL, and they can't even boast of 10% of the kind of facility that is currently erected here in Ikene. And how do we compete on the continent? How do we compete on the continent with the big boys, Alali and Wadad, if you can do proper investment? But it's one of those our aims and objectives of the tournament, and also to bring teams here to come and experience what Remo Stars has done, and it could be a motivation factor for people to also say, okay, let's go back and see what we can do. We also want to hold this kind of tournament, but if you don't have the facility, you can't host. You can only host if you have this kind of facility. I think Sporting Lagos will also be motivated ahead. They are doing their own stadium as well.
Yeah.
But if they come here, they played yesterday. From the used training pitch yesterday, they will be filling the Membo, at night with the night game today. I mean, these are clubs that could be motivated and say, okay, this is what Remo Stars is doing. They are leading this, and we also want to be part of this. We also want to do this in our state, for also improve football. I mean, like I said, Ole, like you mentioned, it is not hype. It is just the truth. I don't think maybe Akwa Ibom. Yes, after Akwa Ibom. You can take and host this kind of tournament with the option of multiple pitches. And it's not about pitches alone. If you're organizing a preseason tournament, you need people to access the gym, you need people to have training facilities, hotels, camp, and a lot of things. And this is what, Ikene and Remo Stars have provided for clubs to prepare for the season.
All right, a couple of weeks ago, Toby, we had the Super 6 in Lagos. Started a bit slowly with the publicity, and boom, the final was sold out. It was a full house. We were there together, and it was really crazy. Do you envisage something like that for the ValueJet preseason as well? Do you think we might reach those levels? Maybe things have started a bit slowly, but as we reach the crescendo of the tournament, maybe we're about to witness what we witnessed in Lagos. Do you think that will happen?
Yeah, hopefully. We're working around the club. Remo Stars is a community club with community engagement with people of Ikene, Ijebu, Abeokuta, and the rest. And we've been doing a lot of engagement, and we like the kind of clubs that are here. Rivers United have attracted people. Sporting Lagos also attracted people yesterday. We're having a night game today between Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos. We've got good reviews on social media of things that we have been doing. But it's pretty difficult to meet the level of Nigeria Super League in terms of funding. Funding between the ValueJet Cup and Nigeria Super League is about close to like 200% apart, if not more. So, but I think we've done an amazing job. And to be honest, Nigeria Super League has really put everyone, on that. Yes, I can call it pressure, and it is good. When there's a standard, you try as much as possible to meet the standard.
But Toby, sorry to cut you short there. I want to ask: should preseason tournaments be that glamorous?
No, Adigun. Maybe.
Because we're getting to a stage where preseason tournaments have now become even much more engaging than even the real Nigeria Premier League itself.
No, absolutely. But I feel like like we have been saying in a couple of preseason games in Europe, US, and the rest. You use the preseason games to build up to the season.
Yeah.
So it is very good to see what Nigeria Super League did and what we are trying to do here in Kenya. You can use all this. You can use all this. To build that momentum to the new season.
Definitely.
This is really put a lot of pressure on the MPF organizers, because even as more as we are at ValueJet Cup, I think because it's not because I'm part of this, I think we've done, some quality things in this tournament in terms of our content, in terms of our push, in terms of our broadcasting, mini production. We've done so. You as an MPFL side, you should do more or double it what people are doing, because right now we can feel the momentum at the goal. If you feel it on the social media, people are really interested. They really want to know what's happening. Yesterday we were streaming and we are hitting about 200 people watching on a YouTube account who we just opened like a few days back. And you're getting interested in brands to come in. We got a brand to come and give players 100,000 for man of the match. So the interest is growing. The momentum is growing. So it's not left for the MPFL to catch up. It's good. It's good to have great tournament. I think so. I think preseason should be glamorous in our own sense, because our clubs cannot afford to go to South Africa, to go to Egypt to go and play. So what we can do here is to design something glamorous, something attractive, something that can be big. And at the end of the day, why not? We can bring Al Ahly to Lagos. We can bring Al Ahly to Kenya to come and play. So that should be what we should be aiming at. Because the biggest problem of our teams on the continent is how we prepare for the continental games. You see teams now traveling to games. You don't play on the continent, for example, like Enyimba just resumed last week. Then you play an Ungwa FC in Naba, and you want to compete with the likes of Al Ahly. It is not possible. So in our own sense, this is what we can do. Like Nigeria Super League, we bring the top clubs to play. ValueJet Cup, you bring the top clubs to play among themselves. You can have this preparation, and then the more you grow, the more you can see maybe bring top clubs also from other African countries to prepare the MPFA clubs for the continental game.
All right, your friend Oduayo is here, but before Oduayo asks a question, I wanted to quickly confirm how financially rewarding is this tournament for the participants. Then my next question after that is, don't you also think that fatigue might set in? Remo Stars played Super 8, played Super 6, now ValueJet preseason. Rivers United played Super 8, played Super 6, now the Value Jet. Once again, Sporting Lagos played Super 8 in the NNL in Asaba, played Super 6 in Lagos, and now they've got Value Jet pre-season. Guess what? The league starts in about 2-3 weeks from now. Remo Stars Rivers United involved in the CAF Champions League as well and CAF Confederation Cup in a matter of weeks. Aren't you concerned about these players overworking, overexerting, and fatigue here?
Yeah, Adigun, I agree with you, and this still, brings on down to the entire football ecosystem in the country. So, how do you solve this? You need to design a proper calendar that accommodates all this, because you can't tell teams not to have preseason games. When you sign new players, you need to put them into shape. You need to put them into your team philosophy.
Yes.
So, and these are kind of platform tournament that you can use to build a new team. At least, maybe Rivers have started about 6-7 new players. How do you want them to bring them into the team? Rivers United, the Imba, and the rest. So, this is where the league organizer now comes in. You need to build a proper calendar that's synchronized to every level. I mentioned NNS Super 8. Why are we playing NNS Super 8 2 months after the regular season? So if you have a proper calendar, the MPFL is ending at this time, the NNS is ending at this period, you have a championship at this period, then there's about 2-month break. So those organizing preseason can also plan. There's a 2-month break, you have to resume 30 days before your first league game. Then you can design your preseason around it. So it still boils down to the entire football ecosystem having a proper calendar for people to work. But I also think the clubs have been able to manage this. I mean, Remo Stars and the rest went on break. They are just back. Dan Ogun, we asked him a question about this, and he said they've rested well, to be honest to him. And then they just signed new players. I mean, Saban just joined them. They want to see these players.
You haven't answered the first question, Otobi. How financially rewarding is the tournament?
Yes, financially rewarding for the clubs. We have 8 teams here, 500,000 naira for your appearance fee. Winner gets 2 million naira. Second team get 1.5 million, and the top place team get 1 million naira. And there's about 1.6 million naira pool for the players from each of the man of the match winners.
That's lovely. Oduayo, quickly, your question?
All right, so good afternoon. Anyways, you've answered part of my question, because I was going to ask you what's the prize winner for the winner of the tournament, but I think you've answered that already. So that being said, we saw a lot of fans engagement during the Super Hits and a lot of giveaways. So I was going to ask if there's going to be anything of such, maybe in the semi-finals or maybe in the finals, if there's going to be a giveaway, or maybe the entertainment side as well, maybe something to just attract the fans at maybe during the semi-finals or the finals.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier from one of the questions, I agree with what I just did, because they put pressure on everyone that wants to organize this kind of tournament. It's a positive pressure for you to raise the standard, but we have to understand that funding is different. I mean, yes, people can afford to bring artists. We cannot afford it, so what we can grow. From last year, I don't think we were here last year. This year it has been decent, and it follow our social media projection. We've done a lot of fun engagement. We've given away, some cash. We've done this. We're doing something this evening too with the Rivers, with the Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos game. But I mean, the funding is different. But like I mentioned, what the Just Buy It has done has really raised the standard for everyone, including the MPFL organizers, to ensure that you organize an interesting tournament for the fans. But I mean, we'll get there. But I don't think we'll bring an artist there. But we try as much as possible to ensure that we do a lot of fun engagement and also ensure that the fans are really part of this tournament.
All right, thank you very much, Toby, for your thoughts on the Value Jet pre-season. What are the games we're still expecting today?
Yeah, next up is Rivers United versus Beyond Limit. Currently, Aberos, are leading Shooting Stars 2-1, and then the next game will be between Rivers United and Beyond Limit. And the 6 p.m. game is this afternoon between Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos. All
right, thank you very much. I think that's a rivalry brewing up between Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos. I like the look of that, although I'm getting tired, kind of. All right, Toby Samuel, thank you very much for your thoughts. Wish you the very best in this tournament. Wrapping up on the 10th of August, I believe.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Bring back the goodies to Lagos, okay?
Sure.
And greet them for me. All right, Toby Samuel live on a Saturday Sports Cruise on mainland 98.3. We just talked about the Valley preseason involving 8 teams. Remo Stars Beyond Limits who ply their trade in the Nigerian National League these days. There's Heartland who also gained promotions to the Premier League.
The NNL champions.
Oh, the NNL champions
They
too.
have not been able to pick a point so far. They've played 2 games.
It's preseason. It's preseason. Maybe they're saving the
And I
best.
think I quite agree with you that some of the teams are getting tired. I was privileged to be with some of the Remo Stars players after the Niger Super 8, after the finals. I think it was Remo Stars versus Sporting Lagos that played the finals. Of course, Sporting Lagos winning that. And some of the players were complaining that some of the reason why they couldn't really, because I felt Remo Stars, they didn't really perform up to that level we saw them do in the Super 6. I mean, Remo Stars, they were one of the very best side. For me, they were the best side in that Super 6. But coming into that Super 8, it looked as if the team was a bit tired, fatigue and everything. So I think it's beginning to tell on the players, because I heard the players complaining that they were a bit tired coming into that tournament, but then they had to come in. So I think fatigue and tiredness could also play a part. We agree that they are trying to prepare for continental games and then the MPFL kicking off. But then we need to watch it with some of these preseason. It's becoming one too many.
All right, guys, if you're listening and you want to contribute on the program, the time is now. 091 36,000 410. Once again, 091 36,000 410 is the number to call. Let's bring you some updates. It's halftime in a couple of games, or approaching halftime in the English Championship. Watford are in the mood. Yes, it was 3-0 and now it's 4 against Queen's Park Rangers. Martins Martins scored the third, and we have Vakon Isuf Bayo, the Ivory Coast player, scoring the fourth for them in that game. And looks like Birmingham about to take the lead at South Wales against Swansea. I will confirm that in a bit. Stoke against Rotterdam, 1-0 in favour of Stoke. Millwall remains barren. Blackburn against West Brom is 2-0 in favour of the home side. Copenhagen are leading Randers by 3-0, and Genk, disappointingly, are still trailing by 0-0. Game approaching halftime as well. All right, let's take our first caller this afternoon. Hello.
Good morning. Good afternoon. It's coming from Olawale.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
I just want to ask that how is Christopher Nkunku injury? How long?
All right, we're not in the physio team. We're not part of the team, but what I know is that Tunde Young is a Chelsea fan and he can give you an update right now.
Yeah, Nkunku himself was limping off the pitch and just said he's okay, he's fine, and we hear that he's just going to be missed like the first 2 weeks of this. He's definitely not going to play against Liverpool. All
right, so he's out of the Liverpool game, which is next week. So maybe he comes back after that, but it doesn't look too bad for Christopher Nkunku. We've also got some transfer news making the rounds. I'll bring you up to that. I understand that Bayern's deadline has passed, and Dan Levy says, "Hey guys, you can't come and be doing shaka."
Deadline for someone else's property.
You get, but we'll talk Hurricane in a bit. But we'll get to the Community Shield preview very soon. But let's take more of your calls. 091 36,000 410. 84 minutes in the Czech Republic Fortune League. Sparta Prague lead FK Pardubice 5-2. Slovakia trailing Signal Olomouc by 2-0, while Kavina trailed on to Lada Boleslav 2-1. It's against all John, and tell you that Charlton about to take the lead against Leyton Orient, while Reading trailing on to Peterborough by 0-0, and we also have Bolton still holding on to that 1-0 lead against Lincoln. Down in League 2, Wrexham have pulled one back. It's 2-1 going into halftime at home to MK Dons. Barrow away to Tranmere, the lead by 0-0. Crawley lead Bradford City were down to 10 men by 0-0. Accrington and Starley lead Newport by 0-0 as well. It's goalless between Grimsby and AFC Wimbledon. In the absence of goals, shall we get to the Community Shield? But that will be after another music break, guys. We'll come back to talk about the big game tomorrow as the Premier League curtain raiser takes center stage at Wembley. It's Man City against Arsenal.
Tell you, make me bring the sharp. I don't see him for my dreams. Now why me I want for? Once I take the it don't set that. Me are the only talk to person we get money pass central bank. Enter. I nearly fall for gutter. My haters, haters. Thank God say the money don't enter. The money don't enter. Only 10.
Welcome back. It's still Saturday Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So join us on those platforms. It's Mainland 98.3 FM on Facebook. And all you have to do is just search Mainland FM on YouTube. And on Facebook, it's Mainland 98.3 FM. And get to watch us and feel free to drop your comments. We will be reading them as they come through on the program. You can also call in at the number 091 36,000 410. You can send us a WhatsApp message on 091 36,000 430. That's the number to send in your messages to. The Premier League is back. The new season begins on Friday next week. And we know it's Burnley against Manchester City. It's a master visiting his apprentice in Pep Guardiola and Vincent Company. But we'll get to that later on. But we know that we have a curtain raiser to deal with, and that's the Community Shield fixture between treble winners Man City and runners-up in the Premier League, Arsenal. All right, so it's not news anymore that City won the treble. Tunde Young, and they will be contending for the Community Shield that they haven't won in the last 3 years. Lost to Leicester and lost to Liverpool. What state is City in right now after the summer?
Like we said yesterday, I don't think they intend to win this tournament. This
fixture,
this fixture, this preseason extension for Pep Guardiola, as far as it's concerned, I'm sure this is just a bit to get into shape and for the actual Premier League season, especially since they start the Premier League season on Friday. You don't want to risk any key players getting injured with an important game, which as the actual curtain raiser for the season on Friday at is it a tough more? Are they at the Etihad?
Is that a tough more?
A tough more, so difficult place to go. I mean, although what we know about the tough more is no longer existing now in terms of how they used to play. They played very differently. So maybe the new style of play will make Burnley a less difficult place to visit. But for the game against Arsenal tomorrow, I fully expect an Arsenal victory.
All right, we understand that City have completed the signing of defender Josko Gvardiol for £78 million on a 5-year deal from RB Leipzig. It won't definitely be involved tomorrow, but maybe he will play a part that opening fixture on Friday evening at Burnley. But let's still fixate a bit on Manchester City. And we know what they did last season was very incredible. By the way, we have another new member of the Saturday Sports Cruise team joining in, and his name is Ayomide. Ayomide, let's say hello to us. Good evening, welcome to the program. You are a Chelsea fan, and you're sitting next to a Chelsea fan. But I also quickly want your quick thoughts on Man City. So we'll still talk more on Man City. I asked him, that's Tunde Young, in what state City were, and he talked about how they don't favor preseason, they're always slow starters. But for Arsenal, they seem buoyed by the new players they've brought into the team to fortify them and try to take the next level. What do you make of Arsenal? What are your projections? What are your predictions for Arsenal this season? Ayomide.
For me, I think Arsenal can challenge for the league again like last season because they have improved their team more. They have gotten rid of Granit Xhaka, even though he had a good season.
I like the way you put they got rid of Granit Xhaka. Go on, Ayomide.
Even though he was very good last season, they need a replacement because Granit Xhaka is old for the team, and since they signed Declan Rice, it is a good addition to the squad now. And they also have Kai Havertz, which I don't know what is in there.
Every Chelsea fan doesn't know what Kai Havertz is doing at Arsenal, Tunde Young included. So hey, I've got to play. You have infected the boy. So I have no problems, but it's all good. We'll see what Kai Havertz actually does when he kicks things off with Arsenal tomorrow at Wembley. Now let's get back to Pep Guardiola's side. And Jibola, we know what happens about teams who achieve success. I mean, success in a very insane level. Doing the treble. Only few teams do the treble, right? The last English team to do that was Manchester United in 1999. And we know how they did it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored a stoppage time goal, to win the European Cup and top up the Premier League. They won against them. Also were hot on their heels. They won it on the final day of the season, or the penultimate weekend. And then they also won the FA Cup that season. And one thing really happened in that summer. A lot of people don't remember. A lot of people don't even know. Dwight York actually went up to Sir Alex Ferguson and told him the season after, boss, we've won everything. There's nothing to fight for. There's nothing to prove again this new season. Boss, I'm hoping that you can give me a 1-year break. But that break will be paid for. But I have nothing to fight for. I have no motivation. But I want to go for 1 year, take a holiday, but United will still be paying my salaries. And Ferguson just told him to leave his office. Apparently, later on, they interviewed Ferguson about it. Ferguson said maybe York was saying that he doesn't think Ferguson took it seriously. But he actually took it seriously. He went to the boss, went to his office and said, I want 1 year off. I have nothing to play for. I have nothing to prove. And you must pay me. But hey, that didn't happen. But basically, what I want to take from that is, how do you take away the Dwight York effect from a team like Man City? How does Pep Guardiola look at the City side and feel, we've won everything last season? How do I motivate these players to be able to go again? How do I motivate them to be able to win the Premier League? How do I motivate them to have that energy, that fire in their eyes again? Because you know what happens when you're successful. The next thing that comes in is complacency.
Olawale, you said it all, but then again, this is a new season. And every team was, fighting for they are going to compete with Manchester City. They've signed a new player. We talk of Arsenal. They brought in Declan Rice, Jurgen Timber, and Kai Havertz. But although we all say we don't know what Kai Havertz is doing in the team, but then again, I think Arteta bought him and he know what he bought him for. So he's going to find a place for him. To be in the team. Now back to Manchester City right now. Now, they need not to rest over me on the horses, because all other things are coming up behind them. Look at Manchester United, they just unveiled their new striker on loan. Mount is still there, and again, we hearing that Amrabat was almost good for getting to the Mayu again. But then again, for me, I think they need not to rest on their horses. Then again, they need to bring in 1 or 2 midfielders. I'm talking about Manchester City right now, because Mahrez has gone, Gundogan has gone. I think they a little bit lighter in the midfield. But then again, Guardiola need to come and call them to that. Fine, we want the treble, but then again we need to go further this season, because as I really push them, to the call. Last season, but this season they need to. Like I said, they need not to rest on the horses. They need to make sure. They take every word Boo by his own. Make sure they get that 3 points. Starting this Friday against Burnley. So anything other than that, I think they will lose the league this season.
Olumide, complacency is the corrosive byproduct of repeated success. If you have repeated success at the point, it's natural. It is not a criticism. It's just natural that complacency, laxity sets in. And Guardiola definitely has experienced this as a player way back. He won 4 titles in a row with Barcelona, from 91 to 94. And, while speaking out of this game, he was recalling that period, and he said after 94, he was not the same again in terms of wanting success. And that explains why Barcelona didn't win the title the season next and the season before. The 2 Madrid teams won the league. Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid won the league. Now, as a manager, he has also won the treble before. If you guys remember, with Barcelona, in 2011. In fact, they went on to win 6 trophies, because they added the UEFA Super Cup and also the Copa del Rey and the Club World Cup. They added it to win 6 in that year. What do you think is the recipe to be able to eliminate complacency? Sir Alex Ferguson, his style was refreshing the team. He didn't care whose axe was good. He didn't care how big the player was. He will ship them out and bring in players. Those players are necessarily not better than the ones I've left, but they will always do the job. Pep, if we don't notice, I've also done it recently. Not even recently. He does it every season. One big player goes and he brings in a guy who might not be better than the person, but always does the job. Do you think that job or that recipe is in play right now with the exit of Riyad Mahrez and maybe potentially Kyle Walker?
Yeah, I don't think the recipe is right there right now, based on what we've seen with Manchester City. Considering the fact that Gundogan was very, very influential in their last season campaign to the treble they won. Don't let us forget that a certain there are also some players that might also leave before the season also kickstarts. But I can't see the refreshing method from the coach, which is talking about Pep Guardiola. He has not been refreshing the squad so far, just like what you said as regards Sir Alex Ferguson, what he did back then when Manchester United actually won the treble. Though for me, I don't think there's a recipe, for you to be successful or a template for you to replicate what you've done, last season, which is the treble which they won. But as it is right now, I think the job basically lies in the hands of Pep Guardiola. I mean, he's collecting the bags right now, and he needs to address this issue. The issue is on ground is that how is he going to motivate these players? I'm thinking from my head right now. I don't think there's a way. I don't think you can motivate such kind of player who has won the treble, but there's also a way whereby you can also motivate the players. Consider the fact that I don't think any team has actually replicated winning treble back to back. I don't think a team have done that. I think that is actually a source of motivation also for this team. If you can absorb that methodology in motivating the players, if they can do it back to back, I mean, that is setting the precedence and also setting an history for themselves.
And today, I think Pep also agrees with this Alex Ferguson school of thought about refreshing the team every season. Make 2, 3, 4 changes so players who are very motivated to win arrive, come in. Basically, it's like filling up a car with petrol or fuel, to be able to keep driving faster and faster and faster. And perhaps the best way to analyze this element of Guardiola's work at City is taking a look at the City team that came from Tunde against Aston Villa to win their 4th Premier League title. That was the season before this one that went. Yeah, and I'm looking at the players in that squad. Edison, John Stones, Fernandinho, Zinchenko came on at halftime, if you remember. Laporte, Cancelo, De Bruyne, Rodri, Silva, that's Bernardo Silva. Ilkay Gundogan came on in 68 minutes. Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling also came on. Phil Foden and Gabriel Jesus. Now, 14 months later, 6 of these 14 players have left. Fernandinho, Zinchenko, Gundogan, Mahrez, Sterling and Jesus. A 7th might happen, Cancelo. We know that Pep doesn't even want to see him at all. Now, do you think that that refreshing will happen? Do you think that it might shake up the dressing room again this season? I don't think that the exit of Gundogan represents a shake-up. I think he wanted to go. He wanted to seek new challenges. But that of Mahrez was a player they didn't even expect. They said they didn't expect him was going to go. Do you think there's still going to be more exits to shake up the team?
I don't think he necessarily is looking to change much, but also Pep Guardiola is not the type to actively stop players from leaving. I mean, not many players want to leave clubs, especially if you're a key player. Anyway, so a club where you are winning. But if the likes of Walker who have been linked to Bayern Munich and Cancelo, who is on the way out, as we've said, and whoever else for whatever reason wants to leave, Manchester City, when Sterling when Sterling grew tired of winning and decided to come and lose for a bit to chase this up at Chelsea, nobody stood in his way. They cashed in and took the 50 million and moved on. So yeah, it's not. Of course, if Kevin De Bruyne wakes up tomorrow and says he wants to play for Real Madrid, I think Pep Guardiola might show a bit of resistance to that. I mean, but from largely what we've seen of Guardiola, if you want to, nobody's indispensable. That's the point I'm making. He's shown time and time again that he is the star of that team. He can replace anybody, and even if he can't replace directly, he can replace in terms of the system, adjusting the shape of the team to optimize what he has on ground. So I think definitely, as long as they have Pep, I think they'll be fine.
By the way, United won the treble in 1999, and Dwight York approached his manager for a sabbatical. They won the next 3 league titles. After that, they won the 99 title with 2 points. The next season, they finished above Arsenal with an 18-point margin. I think the season after, they also won the league. By the way, the next season after York said he wanted a sabbatical, he scored 23 goals. So much for sabbatical. So much for not being motivated. But that's the power that Sir Alex Ferguson had. And I thought the moment that York also showed that he was content with winning the treble, I think Ferguson also marked him as one of the players who was always going to leave the club. And that explains, if anybody has read that interview with Rio Ferdinand a couple of years ago, Ferdinand said his first training session, he was training with Dwight York, and Fergie called him to his office and said, "You see that guy? I don't want to see you with him again in training." If you want to stay long at United, if you want to win titles, stay off Dwight York because he's leaving. And guess what he left in that summer? Because, I mean, the manager, the gaffer already saw his body language after the treble. And, hey, this guy is not motivated anymore. And we could see what United went on to achieve once again, like I said. They won the next
for Aston Villa?
Yeah, they went to Villa.
Yeah,
he wasn't a bad player. But Fergie just didn't like the vibes. And because those vibes could also spread around the team. Yeah, and that's why Pep also did the same thing, likes of Samuel Eto'o, likes of Deco, and likes of Ronaldinho, when Messi came into the fore. Now, Michael, I'm coming to you because the reason I'm relating this United and City experience is because of the fact that when you win the treble, especially when you dominate Europe in that season, you are expected to be able to build on it, especially if you're a big side like Man City. If you've got the financial resources. In fact, the likes of Gary Neville and Roy Keane always lament that they did not build upon the success of their Champions League in 1999. United didn't do a Champions League final until 2008 after 1999. Do you think City have got what it takes to build on this? Not domestically. They've won the last 5 league titles. They've cracked the code in England. Do you think City have got what it takes to be able to create a dynasty in Europe?
Wow. Majorly, the major difference for this treble is the Champions League. That's the missing piece for Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Now he has it, but I do not think it's never enough for Pep Guardiola. I mean, he always wants to set that standard. They've won the treble before, like my brother here said, but he can tell you, okay, they've never won it back to back, let us do it. So it's never enough for Pep Guardiola, and I believe like he has made the mistakes. I mean, little mistakes have dropped him out of the Champions League. Like, he built the team to perfection, that they were completely dominant, and just a few, the old legs were the ones, like the what's his name, the Gundogan, the captain of the team, the old legs that Riyad Mahrez, you can see towards the end of last season, he was not really a major part of that team. Bernardo Silva was starting mostly on the right flank of the team. So we can tell that this guy, he's only letting them go because he doesn't need them anymore. Like, he's building the team to perfection. His tactics, the game plan he uses in approaching the game says it all. I mean, a winger that can defend when they are off possession, and ones that can effectively attack. That's why he's like the defensive setup, like he's building. That's why he's bringing in another Josko Vadio, adding to the defense. We do not know what is coming up with this time again.
Yeah,
we just cannot tell what he has in pocket. So, but you know, it's never enough for him.
Yeah, I agree with that in the sense that, and that's the major difference between this treble winning team and Fergie's treble winning team. Fergie's team did not lose any key player particularly. I mean, Schmeichel left.
Fergie didn't refresh. He didn't really refresh that squad with players who could upgrade them.
Yeah,
they were linked to Ronaldinho, and they were linked to Gabriel Batistuta, but they didn't bring them in, especially for Europe.
It was a quiet summer. So it was a case of retaining the guys that just achieved something historic. Like I said, Schmeichel was the only major departure, and left as a free agent at 35 years old. So it's not anything to worry too much about. They brought in Mikel Silvestre from Inter Milan, signed Quintin Fortune, signed Massimo Taibi, one of the worst signings of all time. Brought in Mark Bosnick as well. So pretty much a quiet summer. I get the logic behind that. These are the guys that just won 3 trophies, all trophies available, bar the League Cup. So you would expect that, yes, this is the best team in the land. But for Manchester City, Pep Guardiola has gone out to get Josko Vadio, even though he has not really lost anybody in central defense, even though he still has Aymeric Laporte, even though and Laporte is not even playing quite regularly. He still has Manuel Akanji, who was the key player last season. Nathan Ake just signed a new contract. He didn't stop him from still getting Vadio because he knows the importance of adding quality to this. So I think that's the major difference between both treble winning teams in England so far. But like Michael said, the only thing that changes for City is that they added the Champions League. They are very good at doing it all over again.
So Doyle, City season starts tomorrow with the Community Shield against Arsenal Wembley. Super Cup against Europa League winners Sevilla is on the 16th of August in Athens. Club World Cup takes place in Saudi Arabia from December 12th to 22. And I think that City will be playing the Copa Libertadores winners in the semi-finals to be able to get to the final. And this alone should inspire the treble winners, given no team in history other than his Barcelona side of 2009 I've won such trophies in a calendar year. So if nothing can motivate them, at least 2009 of Barcelona should be able to motivate them that, hey, there are 6 trophies available. We've done 3 and 3 more to go. That should be able to at least keep them going, keep the fire burning till the end of the year.
Did Luis Enrique not do it?
No, I'm not sure Enrique did 6 trophies in a year. It was
Valverde that did it. I know one of Enrique and Valverde did it.
6 trophies in a year. It's only Barcelona of 2009 and Guardiola did all 6 trophies. So I think that should be enough to motivate them, Oduayo.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. They can take a cue from what Barcelona did in years back, and if there's nothing to motivate you, I mean, there are still 3 more trophies to motivate you. You have the Community Shield tomorrow, and then you have the FIFA World Club Cup. They might want to also take a cue from what Chelsea did under Thomas Tuchel, winning all the available trophies that season. After winning the Champions League, they went on to win the Club World Cup. So there are still trophies to win. I think that's enough motivation. And like all the guys have rightly said, I think this team does not look like a team that is going to relent anytime soon. They've done it over and over again. They've been the most consistent team in England in the past 6 to 8 years. They've won all the trophies except for the UEFA Champions League. Of course, they eventually won that last season. So there are still trophies to win. I am an Arsenal fan, but I'm still tipping Manchester City to win the Community Shield tomorrow.
All right, guess who calls us on the show? Did it. It's Greatness.
Oh, he did it.
Good afternoon.
Adrian, God will bless you. God will bless you for that confession that you make. God will bless you. You know, the Bible said it. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. You have set yourself free from other Arsenal that have hope that they will come and win this league. God bless you. Olawale, good evening.
Good evening.
And Tunde Young, good evening. So, you guys have made your point, but let me add my own. With what I'm seeing on ground, I think the way I said it, I called you guys was it saying, who can stop City? With this signing of this youngster, with Kovacic coming, and Guardiola made a comment saying that they are not yet done with this transfer window. They are still going to replace Ramirez. I'm telling you, Olawale, in Premier League, I don't know, maybe Champions League. I'm not going to debate Champions League because Real Madrid can speak for understand. But in this Premier League, Man City will still retain the Premier League. But for Champions League, I can't say anything.
All right, thank you very much, Greatness. We know he's a Man City fan and always fights to protect the interests of Manchester City. But Wisdom, what trophies do you think City can realistically win the season?
Yeah, I think this Community Shield they are playing, and tomorrow they are going to take that. For my own opinion, then the Super Cup, I think they are having that.
All right, I think they're also favorites for the Club World Cup too.
Yeah, I think they are the favorites.
I think it's realistic they can win, 6 trophies this year. I think they can. I think they can win. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
The truth is, Manchester City have been. My name is Beture calling from Bushon.
All right, Beture, welcome.
Manchester City has actually been successful for, should I say, 7 years now since under Pep Guardiola, and winning 5 leagues out of 7 in England. That is not negotiable. It's a big success. But the truth is, in the championship, I don't think they will actually still repeat what happened last season. I think they will be joking. The way we use the word in the street, they will joke yourself or down one first. And they come. I don't see them repeat this. The sharp lucky that Real Madrid actually got that they win the 3 championships in the room. I don't think it will actually happen. And for us, we Pep Guardiola fans, Baba, I think we remove car for him, and we actually say he has done very well.
All right.
So that is my.
Thank you very much, Bature. Another City fan. So that's back-to-back City fans joining us on the program. Let's take another call. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to Sports Cruise.
Yeah, Damilare from Ogodo.
All right, Damilare, go on.
Massive fan too.
Oh, that's triple City fans.
Actually, my own take is that something about Guardiola is his strength always lies on other teams' performance. From the beginning, you will not know the style, you will not know the angle. He always have probably the better start, or if you look at last season, nobody expect that Man City will do wonders. But the sort of Man City was like, okay, he always enjoys seeing a team ahead of him. And that motivation is always there. Then he always loves to start from afresh. I think the only difference there with other teams, I bet you are to disagree for other people, is the coach factor. Anytime you discover that the player is being complacent, he changes them. And he has this power of rotation. He doesn't use the same set of players every time. So and that rotation is always there. Like everybody always wants to start from afresh, no matter the league or no matter the time. If you look at like now, they are starting again. So the motivation is always there. And that's always keeping them going. You might not be saying, okay, they are winning any particular trophy, but by the time the league starts, we will know what they will. But I'm so sure that they will definitely win either the league or the Champions League again.
All right, thank you very much. We've talked about the motivation of the players, how Pep can maintain that momentum. But we have also failed to talk about how Pep can keep himself motivated as well. Because, the manager has won 4 league titles, has won 5 on the trot. Complacency can set in from a managerial point of view. And this is what I see. Pep finds things to always keep him also, motivated. And I think that seeing what Eric Ten Hag is doing at United should get him fired up. He wants to get one again over Arteta. Maybe you feel personally that Arteta just was hit and miss last season. But Arteta is going to come with something much more better, a better body of work with Arsenal this season. And maybe Newcastle also coming up with some Saudi money can keep him motivated. It's very crucial that the manager himself is motivated and can transmit that to his players too. So that would be a very interesting subplot for Manchester City. Well, definitely, if they don't win anything next season, I'm not going to begrudge them. I am not. If City fail to win any title next season, or this season we're about to get into, I'm never going to criticize them.
You know how ridiculous it is that doesn't even sound right. It's hard to even conceive.
It doesn't sound right, but I'm telling you that if it happens, we don't have any right to be able to question or criticize them because they have cracked the code. They have reached the zenith. And when you reach the zenith, we know what they say about being easy to stay, not being easy to stay up, but easy to come down. So if it applies to them, it's because they're humans.
Yeah, for your wondering about Pep Guardiola's motivational levels, I don't think he needs any help. This is a man that has won 11 of 14, league titles available to him in his managerial career. I don't think we realize how ridiculous that is. He has only finished outside of the top 2 in any league once in his entire career, and that was his first year at Manchester City where he finished third. That every other year is first or second. This is the student your parents warned you about. You say Pep Guardiola how to head. That's it right there. An excellent manager from head to toe. So I have no doubt that he will find a way to renew his motivation. I'm sure he's already ready to go again.
All right, Sunday joins us right now via the call lines. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. It's 4:23.
Good evening, Jamie from Adigun.
Jam, you're welcome.
For the tomorrow community shift, it happened as it happened last season. Liverpool that won match 3-1. Now win as usual. But when the league started, they will separate the men from the boys. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go take a look at the Premier League holistically. We'll be taking a break, and I will be going on a hiatus very soon. But there was the Big Four. We had the Big Six. Although there were debates on who made up the Big Six, some found a way to get Leicester into the mix because they won the Premier League title, but we found a way to bounce them out. But do you think we are approaching the era of the Big Eight? Villa doing some great stuff with Unai Emery, who is an elite manager. Newcastle have the right to be in that league because of the money they have from Saudi Arabia. Is this the era of the Big Eight, Wisdom?
Brighton as well.
Yes. Please, Bright what?
If Aston Villa make it, why not Brighton?
No, I'm talking about what Villa have in a manager who has won multiple titles in Europe. He comes with pedigree. He's a big manager. He's one of the best managers in the world. What does Brighton have? Brighton have tiki-taka football, and inshallah, they have Roberto De Zerbi, and what else? Brighton, we have to understand that Brighton are not an elite team.
By that definition, Wolves qualifies because Wolves have
what?
They have Julian Lopetegui.
As what?
As manager,
bring Julian Lopetegui's body of work and compare to Unai Emery. Are you joking?
No,
wait. No, let's bring it to the table. Lopetegui and Unai Emery.
I didn't come in here hoping for a Lopetegui conversation today.
I was asking about the big 8, Jerry Wisdom.
Yes,
Do you think there's going to be a big 8?
Yes, I think that there's going to be a big 8 because, as you mentioned, Newcastle and Aston Villa. You could see what Aston Villa did last season. They did incredibly well. Then Newcastle, they are on as they can fire anybody and hire anybody they want and buy any kind of player they want. So I think they are going to stand tall.
Who make up the 8?
Hello? we'll look at the makeup in a bit. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome.
It's me, Destiny, Man City fan.
All right, Destiny. I mean, it's an afternoon for City fans. We have like 4 already who've called in. Welcome.
Please, I want to say something about Man City.
All right, go on.
Well, number one, I thank God that at last you guys have already come to Man City today, sir. But you see, Man City, I pray that league is for them. We will say to cannot take the Champions League. Tomorrow, Arsenal they go cry. On 16th of August, Sevilla they go cry. 12th of December, we will still carry the league. We are not shaking. We are back. Now our turn to rule. Now our lights don't dey shower. Our lights don't be off again. Now we go see next season. Now we go see get Premier League and this thing Champions League. Now we.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. My only, the only thing I ask of City is to be able to create something that can dominate Europe. They've dominated England. They have a team that can also dominate Europe. I mean, nobody came close to them last season in the Champions League. They beat Real Madrid black and blue in the second leg. Was the second leg or the first leg? It was second leg. They were up against who else again? And the run-up Bayern Munich, and with minimum of force. So I think that they've got what it takes, especially the forward line. Vadio comes in to improve them. Maybe they'll still bring in an extra midfielder, who knows? But they have a team that can go on to win another Champions League title and be in the mix. So when I mean dominate in the Champions League, it doesn't mean win it year on year on year on. How many teams even have the luxury of defending champions? But always be in the faces, semi-final, final, be in that conversation. And being in that conversation ensures that you can now become a truly elite club in Europe. We always looked at them with disdain when we have a conversation about the big teams in Europe. But with them winning this Champions League, it opens the door. But you have to be in that conversation. You have to be in that committee, by being in those latter stages. And I think City have got what it takes to do that. But there's also the question of Pep Guardiola. When he stays long, he gets a bit bored, and maybe a sabbatical is on his way.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they've been in the conversation for quite a while. This 3 consecutive semi-finals, 2 finals in 3 years.
Finals,
so all that was missing was them for actually winning to properly enter that conversation. And now they're definitely among the Europe's elite. You cannot list 2 teams that will win the Champions League potentially next season.
I think they're favourites already.
I think Real Madrid are favourites by default any year. But I think after Real Madrid, I'll go with City. So yeah, I think they've cracked that European code.
All right, we have to take a break and we'll come back. Tunde Young will be taking a look at the biggest transfer stories, starting with Hurricane. Daniel Levy has not listened and has shrugged off the deadline Bayern Munich gave them. So Hurricane still remains a Spurs player. But in the eventuality of him joining Bayern Munich in Bavaria, how will Spurs look like in the front this Premier League season under Ange Postecoglou? We've got all of the answers plus many more, and slant that Taranda Kolomwani might be on his way to Paris Saint-Germain. Tunde Young will bring you all those big stories when we come back from this music break. Back in 2 minutes or thereabout as we reach the last phase of Saturday Sports Cruise on mainland 98.3 FM. All right, we're right back. Don't go anywhere. Stick put.
Traffic updates.
Ojoba and Charity intersection is good. There's no cause for alarm.
Sports. And everything fun is right here on Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch that dial.
Sad pony.
Hey. Yeah.
Penny X.
I need someone to be patient with me. Someone to get money with, not take it from me. They don't even need to be as famous as me. I don't think I'm feet, but deep down I think about you all day, mommy. I know I'm a pit bull, but darling, mommy, I just wanna take you on a holiday, mommy. Say what's on your mind, I'ma call away, mommy. Come and rescue me. Whoa. Take me out the club, take me out the trap, take me off the market, take me off the map. I'm tryna hit the group chat and tell them it's a come and rescue me. Take me out the club, take me out the trap, take me off the market, take me off the map. I'm tryna hit the group chat and tell them it's a rap.
I didn't come this far just to come this far and not be happy.
Okay.
Remember that.
You didn't come this far just to come this far.
Yep. I saw it on the internet.
I don't really know how to confess my love. Really seem like I wanna test my love for you. Don't know how to express my love. That's why American Express my love for you. I need you, yeah, I really do. Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do. All I know is hit the mall to see what damage I could do.
Okay.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too. And I need someone to be patient with me. Someone to get money with, not take it from me. They don't even need to be as famous as me. I don't think I meet them at the places I.
Yeah, it's still sports. Saturday Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Tunde Young, and we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Olawale Adigun has driven us for 2 hours 30 minutes, and it's time to end the show and entering into the final stretch. By the way, that's one of my favorite songs. I've been living it up, dancing in the studio, and the guys looking at me like, what is going on?
Take me off the market, take me off the map.
That is Search and Rescue by Drake. And speaking of Search and Rescue, you might have to send a party after Hurricane to rescue him from Tottenham Hotspur. We're hearing that Daniel Levy has told Bayern Munich, do your worst. We are not selling this guy. Whatever you want to do. Bayern Munich were giving deadlines and ultimatums on someone else's property, and and Daniel Levy was just like, I'm just not going to do anything about that. So Jibola, talk to me. Hurricane is 30. He's 30 years old. Yeah, turned 30 recently, and entering into the final year of his Tottenham Hotspur contract. Bayern Munich willing to pay as much as 100 million, but nothing more. Tottenham Hotspur want more, and a buyback clause. And Bayern Munich gave an ultimatum yesterday that answer us or we move on. And Daniel Levy said, do your worst, and they've still not answered till now. And so, do you think Bayern Munich should truly move on, or should they stick to their guns?
I think they should move on at the moment. You know, they really want to play their cards. I mean, know Daniel Levy is one of the most stubborn. When I say chairman of the club, I mean, I don't know how to put it right now. But then again, you know, I think we saw on the screen. I mean, that they still want 120 million euros. 100 million, then 20 million was added. But then again, this is the bad money that they felt they needed a striker. And a certain Sadomani does not have a.
They are not just feeling; they need a striker.
Okay. Yeah, they don't have a proper center.
And again, Sadomani has even left the club. So now, and the young no,
Matthias Tell, they signed from.
I think he's a promising star, but yet again, he's not up to that level for me. So I think if the level is not budging, Tottenham should move on. That's my take on that.
All right. So let's see if they're still sticking with you. If they do find a way to sell Hurricane, or Bayern Munich find a way to sign Hurricane, what does it mean for Tottenham Hotspur? How will life after Hurricane look like with a new manager? And who's obviously Son Heung-min is the next in line to be the star of that team. But who starts up front? They signed 19-year-old Aleo Veliz from Argentina, played at the Under-20 World Cup. I think he scored 4 goals in that tournament. But I don't think they expect him to come and replace Hurricane. So maybe they will still be in the market for a striker. So when you sell Hurricane for 100 million, who do you buy?
Right now, I don't think. I mean, there's so much striker out there. For a club to get, Hurricane, like you always say, is one of the at least striker out there. At least if you get to double figures in the season, and he does assist too. And he's not a player that stick with a particular point. He can move around, get the ball from an older play. Pass the ball to the wing, then move to the box. He's all around player. But right now, I don't think. He's going to affect Tottenham because this is a player that has been there with Diego scorer for probably 4 5 or thereabout. So right now, I think I don't know how Anger is going to do it, but I think if eventually they lose Hurricane, they just have to find a way. And then it's certain Richarlison, today he
I was going to mention it.
but this is a guy that fight on the pitch, if I even get the record.
No, he was just settling last season. Maybe this season it could be a different ball game entirely.
Exactly, I agree with you because I think he scored a hat trick in one of their friendly match. I think, but Hurricane was.
But going from relying on Hurricane to Richarlison is a bit of a drop.
But there's nobody in the market, it's a certain Benfica striker has been what jacked up by
Gonzalo Ramos.
So for me, there's no striker out there for them to get, or let's want to get what I don't know, look more.
All right. Okay.
How about Oli Watkins?
I mean, if Aston Villa knows that you just sold Hurricane for 100 million, they will want every single penny of that 100 million because they also spent. Aston Villa also signed Oli Watkins for close to 50 million at least 3 years ago.
Exactly.
3 years ago, before it was cool to spend that much money, they signed him directly from the English Championship from Brentford for over 40 million. So imagine how much they want for him.
And I'm not sure that 11 will want to pay up to whatever he sells Hurricane for to get in another striker. I think they will just move on. Maybe I don't think they are going to buy anybody, even if they sell Hurricane eventually. Maybe a certain Richarlison can eventually come up than what we saw him did last season. Also, there's also his son somewhere else, and then the 19-year-old Argentine they also just signed. But then you would also look at it that he's coming into a team that is already in crisis. Because as far as I'm concerned, last season Tottenham Hotspur, they were in shambles. They were not really. It was a team that we expected them to at least make the top 4. They couldn't make the top 4. So to come bringing the goal scoring of Hurricane on a 19-year-old might be a bit difficult. But probably Richarlison and Son Min-young can also come up with something. I don't think they are going to buy another striker for £100 million. I don't think so.
All right, let's see how that goes. But while we're still on the Premier League conversation, let's do some way too early Premier League predictions. A bit of a personal milestone for me, Tunde Young. This time last year, I stepped foot in mainland FM for the first time. That I made on a community shield weekend, and I made predictions that Chelsea would win the Premier League.
So our markets now.
Okay.
I'm glad I said City. City won.
1 year on. Everybody, I had wanted, if we had more time, I'd wanted to get off-air dubs of that show because everybody made predictions. Akitayo was here. Some of the older guys. Yemi was here. Okpeyemi made predictions as well. Yeah. So it's just a lot can change in a year. That's the point. So that's why I want you guys now to sit down here in August 2023 and predict what the Premier League will look like by May 2024. So starting with you, Odunayo, wait to early Premier League predictions. Who's winning?
Wait, should we just predict the top 4?
Predict the winner. Wait. Predict the winner. Predict the top 4. Predict the top goal scorer. Predict the relegated teams. Go.
Well, it's difficult looking beyond City, and it's also difficult looking beyond what Arsenal had done last season. So they pushed City to the very
don't worry, we don't have time. Don't analyze. Just tell me, City will win the league 2, 3, 4.
No, let me do it this way. Arsenal will win the league. Then City. Arsenal will win the league. City, United, and Chelsea to make the top 4.
Okay, you said Arsenal win the league, City, United, and Chelsea. That's in that order. City second, United third, Chelsea fourth. Who are the 3 relegated teams, and who is the top scorer for you? All right. Why she ponders on that? Wisdom, talk to me about your.
I think I will still stay with City to win the league. Then I'll go with Liverpool second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Chelsea third, United fourth.
Okay, Chelsea third, United fourth. From a Chelsea fan, interesting. Top scorer and the 3 relegated teams.
Top scorer will be. I will stick with Eliana again.
Of course, you can't look beyond him.
Then I think
not Jackson.
Sheffield United will
which Jackson?
I think Sheffield will still go back. Then Burnley too and Southampton.
Southampton have already. They want to relegate them from where they are.
I mean Bournemouth.
All right, Sheffield, Burnley, and Bournemouth. Michael, talk to me.
Wow, I actually feel with the experience added on to Arsenal, I think Arsenal will win the league.
We know you're an Arsenal fan, it's fine. Arsenal, who are the remaining 3? Who are the remaining 3?
City can come as runner-up. Manchester United finished third, then I think Liverpool will be back in the top 4.
Not Chelsea.
Newcastle 5th, Chelsea 6th.
Who are you for 5th and 6th? Go away from there. Jibola, give me your top 4.
Well, my top 4, Man City.
Not even United. With Onana, with Android Alan that you just signed.
I didn't see the goal.
It wasn't his fault.
It was scored for about 30 or 40 meters.
So you signed after unveiling Android Alan today.
You know what we signed. So
when you unveil your Android Alan today, you still don't believe that you win the league.
I don't think so. So City first, United second.
You are a joker.
Continue. United second. Arsenal third, then Chelsea fourth.
All right.
Top goal scorer Alan.
All right.
Bournemouth, Luton, and Sheffield.
All right. Bournemouth, Luton, and Sheffield. You know that I think I agree with your relegated teams. I think those are my picks as well.
Everton, I'm just thinking that I don't think Everton will survive it this time around.
All right. Ayomide, stop playing with my microphone and talk to me.
I think. Don't call me biased, but I think Chelsea win the league.
Thank you. And it's someone mentioned Chelsea.
All right, go ahead. Chelsea first, then we'll second, third, and fourth.
I think Man City will come second, Arsenal will come third, and Man will come fourth.
All right, interesting list. Do you want to give me relegations and top scorer?
Top scorer, I'll go with Erling Haaland, same as before. And for the relegated teams, I'll go with Sheffield United, Bournemouth, and Luton Town.
Nice. Olumide.
Yeah.
Wait. Same as you. I was in this position last year, making my debut on the show, and they asked me who will win the league.
I predicted wrongly. Successfully.
Yeah, go ahead. You follow my footsteps.
For me, I think Arsenal came close last season.
Please don't follow his footsteps.
I think Arsenal will win the league.
All right.
And for me, for the second position, I would go with City. The third, I will go with
United.
Liverpool.
So as a fake United fan.
Then the fourth position, then I will give it to United. So for the highest goal scorer, I mean, it's no brainer. You can't look beyond Alan. And for my relegated teams, I think I will go with Sheffield United, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest.
All right. Sheffield United, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest. So that's a good list. Before greatness has been calling. In fact, let me hear what he has to say, because he has been disturbing since. Hello, greatness.
Tunde Young.
Good afternoon or good evening.
Let me a little bit about this. Aduayo. You just changed voice. No. You are the one that say Man City will win, and you are now coming to come and change.
She can change that. She can choose her team now. She had a change of heart.
Actually, the question was the available trophies they were going to win at the end of it. We were talking about the World Club Cup, the Community Shield.
Greatness,
now
stay on point. Greatness,
now
stay
we are
on
talking
point.
about the league, winning the league for 2023-24.
Stay on point.
Don't worry, Tunde Young.
Yeah.
You know, there is one thing that Wale just said before leaving. He said, "What will motivate Guardiola? You can't travel all the way to Dubai, one-on-one with Sheikh Mansour and remain the same. Your life will change."
So it's about Dubai now.
That is the only motivation.
Greatness. Tell me who your top four for next season. Talk to me the next 10 seconds before I hang you up. Top four.
The next top four: Man City, Man U, Arsenal.
Okay.
I can put Newcastle. Chelsea will not go to top 5. So that is
it's not your fault now. Let me pick your call. Good afternoon, good evening, welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise. Talk to me. Give me your top four. Way too early Premier League predictions. Huh?
Jamu for my children.
Alright, Jamu. Talk to me. Give me your top four. If Chelsea is not top of it, I will hang you up.
Number 1, Liverpool to win the league.
You know what? I actually quite agree with Jamu, but go on.
Good choice.
Go on.
Number 2, Man City all out. Number 3, Chelsea. Number 4 is Arsenal. Number 5 is Man United. For who to relegate? Who turn back is going back. No. Between Everton and Bournemouth, but I will go with Everton because that's how we do it.
Alright, thank you very much, Jamu. Predicting right there. Good evening, welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise.
Good evening, everybody in the studio.
Good evening, Informer.
Thank you very much. Yes, I like the way the Oduayo started with the person that will win the league. The last season, I supported Arsenal in another session. I know say Arsenal will win the trophy, but I did not know. But during the 9 minutes, they lost it to Man City. But I still giving it another hope this season. Even concerning the top scorer, if this Egyptian top scorer was Mohamed Salah can get a right opportunity, I don't think that Eliana can repeat what he did last year, because towards the end of the season, he was unable to double his grade the way he had been coming from the beginning of the season. If you also notice very well, he was also unable to score. Maybe the 4 match.
Yeah. He tailed off towards the end of the season. But Ufama, just tell me your top 4. Give me your list them for me.
Okay, number 1, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool.
All right.
Please, Tyler, is there any good player Mourinho added in squad?
So far it's just Evan Ndika and Asem Ohoa that have been signed by Roma, but I'm sure they are working on new deals. Thank you very much, Mourinho fan. Good evening and welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, talk to me. Give me your Premier League top 4. Way too early predictions.
The two actually call it back.
Okay. Man City. Only top 4, Man City.
If not Man City, who else? you pick other club.
I don't hear.
Club who won the league 3 times in a row.
Bature, you realize I'm the one with the phone here. So they calm down.
No,
remove that bass from your voice first.
You should ask yourself some certain questions now. Okay, that is by the way. Man City, Liverpool, Man U, and what is it called? Arsenal. Chelsea will not actually make top 5. That's okay.
Bye.
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise. All right, we lost that one right there. Let me give my own now. I actually think that I don't see how Liverpool will be bad for 2 consecutive years. I think Liverpool will be back next season. I think Liverpool will win the league actually. I think Liverpool will win the league. They will battle it out with City. They will narrowly beat City to the league. City will finish second, obviously. And I have I have Chelsea third, and I have United fourth.
Oh, no Arsenal in your list. Nice.
I have United fourth. I think Arsenal will miss out on top 4. I think look, my own boldest prediction is that no matter where Chelsea finishes next season,
5th of August again.
No matter where Chelsea finishes next season, they will finish ahead of Arsenal. If Chelsea finish 12, Arsenal will be 13.
You said the same thing last season. Don't worry.
Good evening and welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise. Hello. Olumide, because I put United in top 4, you are having the F1 3 to talk to me anyhow. I will remove them and put Tottenham there now. Anyway, let's move on from the Premier League predictions real quick and let Michael talk to me about. There have been 8 own goals in the FIFA Women's World Cup so far. Olawale mentioned it earlier, but Michael will take us a bit in depth as soon as possible, in the shortest time frame possible. All the 8 goals, who scored them and in what games they were scored?
I mean, yeah, it's been ridiculous, including the 2 knockout games today. I mean, each match saw an own goal. The game between Japan and Norway saw.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate own goal that just deflected in by the Norwegian number 8 right there.
Yeah, Ingrid Engel, she scored the equalizer and she scored the opening
goal for Japan.
That to make it 1, but the game later ended on to go to 3-1, like in favor of Japan. Japan scaled through that one. Then in the game against Spain against Switzerland had.
They had an on goal in the 11th minute. Yes, Cardinal Penedas as well. Also scored an on goal in that.
That on goal was hilarious. I mean, she basically just faced our post and passed the ball into the back of the net from midfield, catching a goalkeeper, off balance. Very, very similar to the own goal that Italy scored against South Africa. That Italy scored for South Africa. Although this one was from a significantly, longer range. Do you have any more own goals for us before we move on?
There's been 6 own goals in the group game. Group games just concluded that Group A, the game of Norway against Philippines saw Alicia Parker score an own goal in the 48th minute. For Norway, that the game later ended 6-1. That was the 4th goal for Norway. The Group B, Ireland against Canada. Megan Connolly also scored an own goal to bring Ireland and Canada back on level terms, and later went on to win the game by 2-1. Group C, Spain against Costa Rica. That's Valeria Del Campo scored an own goal in the 21st minute. The game later ended 3-0. So. Group G, Italy against South Africa. Benedetta Orsi, she scored an own goal to level things for South Africa, and the game later ended in favor of South Africa. And in Group H, that was the most ridiculous. That's 2 own goals in 1 game. That's against Morocco. Talking about Germany. Morocco scored 2 own goals. One in the 4th minute to make it 4-0 to Germany. Then the other comes in the 79th minute, scores an own goal from Zineb Redoyani. That's the 5th. Then the game later ended 6-0, but unfortunately Morocco was the one that qualified. Germany dropped at the group stage despite that massive victory.
All right, thank you very much, Michael, with the own goal Hall of Fame, or is it the Hall of Shame now? The ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup, and we are going to be seeing 2 games tomorrow. That's Netherlands, South Africa, and I'll confirm the other one. But hopefully that will be an end to the own goals. But moving on to the Fantasy Premier League, the Sports Desk of Milan 98.3 FM. I've brought you FPL. We now have our own FPL league. We'll be monitoring FPL. We'll be giving you FPL updates every Thursday. Olawale is working on some interesting things, and when Wale is involved, money is involved too. So you better, as I want to call the league name now, I want to call the league code. Write it down and join. If you have created your FPL team, just type in our league code. It will take you to Mainland FM 98.3 league and join. I will be on the league. Everybody here that plays FPL also will be part of the league, so you get to compete with some of your favorite guys, your favorite sporting guys, and of course for a chance to win some prizes. I'm sure Wale will reveal that. But on Thursday we'll be giving you FPL tips, FPL updates, giving you advice on which players to put in your team, and telling you which players are available and which players are not. The league kicks off in a week, next week Friday, so that's just about 6 days from now. So do not dull yourself. Let me just give you the league code real quick. Hope you have your pen and paper or your phone, and you want to type this down: TWNSCV. TWNSCV. So put that into the Fantasy Premier League column of the Premier League website or the Premier League app, and it will direct you to Mainland FM 98.3 league. Let us know if you run into any issues. Send messages and we'll correct that. But on Thursday we'll be announcing again and giving you FPL updates. About 5 minutes more to go on the show, so it's time to take more of your thoughts. 0913-600-410 is the number to call. 0913-600-430 is the number to send your text messages to. And let me take some messages on Facebook, where we are streaming live, and YouTube. Thank you very much for sticking with us for 3 hours. It's not easy in this economy to use 3 hours internet. I appreciate you. Henry Ayika says at Olawale Adigun, kindly be playing sporting or football music during the break. This Gen Z generation music you usually play dull and drag the program. Thanks kindly, and always your adult and matured listener. Thank you, adult and matured listener. I've taken it into advisement. Falashe Femi Samo says, with City shipping players out, will it affect this season? We've spoken about that at length, and I think we decided City will be City no matter what, as long as Pep Guardiola remains. The day leaves Manchester City, let greatest Abatu they call into this show. Let us hear what they will say. I didn't need you with the message. It says, good afternoon, guys. Thank God that football is back. I think City is still the favorite to win the league, and you people did not analyze my question. Who sits out in the City defense? So, Jibola, do you want to answer that? Who sits out in City defense now that Guardiola is here?
I think I can't say for now, because Vado just came in,
I mean, you don't sign somebody for 77 million to come and sit down on the bench.
I know. But this Guardiola, like Michael said, you can find Givado probably playing number 8 or probably in the position of John Stones. So let's how this is going.
That's all me know.
Me too. I can't say right now, because with Pep Guardiola, he overthinks, and sometimes he do some things and you think that, is this guy woman? Is it what we are expecting?
With Vadio, that's Vadio, Laporte, and Aymeric Laporte and Nathan Ake are now 3 left-footed centre backs at Manchester City. Not even counting the right-footed ones in John Stones and Ruben Diaz and Emmanuel Akonji.
We have John Stones.
Wow. Anyway, let's take the thoughts of our listeners. Good evening and welcome to Sports Cruise on Milan 98.3 FM.
Hi, this is Emotion calling from Yanowo.
Alright, Emotion. How are we doing emotionally today?
I'm good.
Alright, talk to me. Give me your Premier League top 4.
My top 4 is Manchester United.
Man United to win the league.
Yeah, sure. Is that a problem?
No, it's not a problem. It's your choice.
Yeah. Manchester United, then Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea top 4. Then Arsenal going back to the Europa.
I can't say I disagree with you on the Arsenal point. Thank you very, very much. Emotion, looking very stable. Good evening and welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise.
Good evening, Tunde Young.
Baba, you do one, babe. This noise plenty.
You think I'll speak for the person?
Okay, are you really calling us over one, babe? Wow.
Is it?
No, I'll talk to me. Give me your Premier League top.
Okay. Another Arsenal fan. Well, I know the City fans will drag the way they want. But I know the day is coming, it will not be longer than that. They expect the understand. They will be thinking Guardiola. But the day Guardiola will save them, very, very close, very near. They will so hear it. Let them continue the way they are bragging.
Baba, predict your own top 4. Leave Bad Belle now. Leave City fans. They are the ones ready. Let them celebrate.
That is the way they come about it. They are the ones that are bringing it up and lifting it up.
The ones that said you should spend over 200 days on the Premier League table and not win it.
Okay. Let me my top 4 team, Arsenal, City, Man U, Liverpool.
Okay, Arsenal win the league and City, Man U, Liverpool will follow.
No matter what, Arsenal number 1, City number 2, Man U number 3, Liverpool number 4.
All right, thank you very much. Enjoy your Owambe. Good evening and welcome to Saturday Sports Cruise.
Please, Timaya song, take care. Playing for them. As they pay them, they see
Greatness. Thank you very much. All he did was call to give music recommendations. I think that's it on the show today. We approached 4:57. It's been a lovely 2 hours, 57 minutes. Maybe the guys can use this time to say their goodbyes. Olumide, how was your debut on the show?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a jolly good ride. I really enjoyed myself. Let's do this again next week.
All right, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. Your midday, still 12 years old, I believe.
11? Still 11. Not 12 years.
Still 11. Wow, you'll be 11 years old for 11 years now. Go ahead. Go ahead, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to Lagos.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.
All right, I'll see you next week, the young man says. By the time we are back next week for Saturday, the Premier League would have kicked off on Friday. Hopefully, whether Man City will start to defeat.
Okay, today, before I say my buys, I just hope, if even if Super Falcons defeat the Lions, I hope we don't meet Japan and Spain. I said
defeat England first.
That's what I said. If
we are on Jamaica's side of the draw, so if we win, we'll face the winner of Jamaica.
Let's be optimistic. We are beating
Japan
England.
scored 15 goals and what they considered was only 1 goal.
All those stats don't matter.
I beg you.
That's what I mean. It's good to be here once again.
All right, Michael.
Yeah, it feels really good to be back here with the great guys, and always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Wisdom, share some wisdom.
Yeah, in football there are upset after upset, so I hope that upset happen against England.
So me, I'm wishing the beautiful coach Rena Wakama the very best against Senegal later today.
Tip off in 2 minutes. Tip off by 5 o'clock. We are 4:58, and we can round up by telling you that fixtures in the championship: Blackmore 2-1 against West Brom, Bristol City 1-1 against Preston, Millwall have beaten Middlesbrough at home 1-0. Norwich All City still 1-1. Plymouth lead Huddersfield 3-1. Stoke City are about to make it 4-1 against Rotherham. Swansea Birmingham is 1-1, and Watford thrashing QPR by 4-0. To the game of interest to Olawale Adigun. I'm looking for the Belgian Pro League. I can't find it, and I'm also running out of time. But let's hope KRC Gang win.
Let me quickly finish my thoughts now. I've not wished the Super Falcons the very best of luck.
You just did.
I believe they can do it. They should just soar Super Falcons.
All right, thank you very much, Soar Super Falcons. And right now we have to soar out of the stadium. It's been Saturday Sports Cruise. We are leaving here to go root for the D Tigers. We'll tip off in about a minute. Thank you very much for spending your afternoon with us. And Eric will be here with Making Fun of Us by 5 p.m. while we watch the D Tigers.